control, shoveling dirt in every hole. Predators to condemn your soul, watching you and watching me. We're all connected but separated, misunderstood and so frustrated. A million armies of one have invaded, watching you and watching me. We live behind glass curtains and act like nothing's wrong. Soon you will belong. I know you're out there somewhere. We've watched you for so long. We wait for you to fall. We'll expose you all. I know you're out there somewhere. Watching me. The little brother wants to make headlines, be immortalized. Everyone's got an electric eye with the digital spies. They've watched you for so long. I know you're out there somewhere watching me. We the people have taken over. We the people are little brother, standing by to dethrone each other, watching you and watching me. Paranoid, the lens is our weapon, desensitized in our lust for attention, democratized by our voyeur obsessions, watching you and watching me. Slaves to perfection, don't let them project you as you are. Feel your every flaw. I know you're out there somewhere. We've watched you for so long. We wait for you to fall. We'll expose you all. I know you're out there somewhere watching me. Little brother wants to make headlines, be immortalized. Everyone's got an electric eye with the digital spies. They've watched you for so long. I know you're out there somewhere watching me. Stay in line, don't make a mistake. We're watching. We watched you for so long. We wait for you to fall. We will expose you all. I know you're out there somewhere watching
Let your experience begin right now. From high atop the mountains of British Columbia to you listening around the world, this is Spaced Out Radio. You can follow us on our website, spacedoutradio.com, on Twitter, @SpacedOutRadio. Give our Facebook page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. You can follow us on Instagram, Dave Scott, SOR, or on our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio Show.
They let us play with all our toys. They let us think that we're big boys. They let us make the louder noise, but women rule the world. They let us think we're Superman, that we're the only ones who can be strong, but we break on command, 'cause women rule the world.
Buckle up, space travelers. It's time to go for a ride as we are live on Spaced Out Radio.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Said the deeper I go, the deeper I fall.
Good evening and welcome to Spaced Out Radio tonight as we kick off a new week. I am your host, Dave Scott, and thank you so much for listening in at spacedoutradio.com and on Spreaker. As once again we come in from the frozen Canadian tundra, battle our way past the wild animals, sidestep Bigfoot, and enter Uncle Jimbo's cabin, stoke the fire, heat this place up, and broadcast to you live on this Monday night, early Tuesday morning if you're on the East Coast. Here at Spaced Out Radio, we are broadcasting 3 hours a night, 7 days a week. We want to be your official one-stop shop when it comes to the supernatural, conspiratorial, ufological, extraterrestrial, and so much more. Spaced Out Radio's theme music is provided by guitar god Ron Bumblefoot THAL. You can find his album, Little Brother is Watching, by going to spacedoutradio.com. If you're a social media junkie like I am, you can follow us on Twitter, @SpacedOutRadio. Give our Facebook page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. On Instagram, I can be followed at Dave Scott, SOR. Our YouTube channel, where we post our archives, is Spaced Out Radio Show. Please subscribe to that. And of course, our website is spacedoutradio.com. At this time, we welcome in our fans listening in on the SHR Media Network, in the Spaced Out Radio chat room on Spreaker, along with our fans at Paranormal Forum, and on Facebook, the SOR Space Travelers and UFOria Chronicles. If you're a fan of SOR, coming soon to our website is the Space Travelers membership, where for only $5 a month you can win prizes, take part in private group interviews, have a special section on our website, and so much more. Hey, we're going to give you a heck of a lot more than just access to our archives. Tonight's show is brought to you by PurplePlates.com, helping heal your body, mind, and soul. The official Spirit Storybox is the official ghost hunting app of Spaced Out Radio. The New Agora newspaper is the official newspaper of this show. And Rivulet Reiki and Readings, providing healings in person or at a distance. We're back on Spaced Out Radio to kick off another week, and we started by getting a little bit conspiratorial. For those of you who are thinking we're in the know, the right answer to that is, well, we aren't. We're not even close when it comes down to it. Shadow governments and black operations, along with the cover-up alphabet groups, have been hiding secret projects and secret bases for years. Remember, it was only a couple of years ago where President Barack Obama actually acknowledged the existence of Area 51. There are theories around about what the governments really know about extraterrestrials and their technology. Until it's confirmed, we still really don't know what happened at Roswell and St. Augustine, or what crashed at Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia, or the other so-called crashes that have had spacecraft allegedly taken to S4 in Area 51 for back engineering. Are today's governments in cahoots with ETs? Ben Rich, the former Lockheed Skunk Works president, said we already have the technology to get ET home again. John Podesta is pushing for what the government knows to become public about UFOs, as he tries to get Hillary into the White House. Tonight, to talk about all of this, along with black helicopters, men in black, and so much more, is James Borg from UFOria Chronicles. He's been researching and has been able to uncover information for the past couple of decades, which leads him to believe there is a whole nother story out there than what we are being told. At this time, we bring in James Borg. James, thank you so much for being with us. How are you tonight?
Doing great, Dave. How you doing, buddy?
I am really good. And you know what, James? Last week we got UFOria Chronicles as part of the Spaced Out Radio family, as we went on to your Facebook group that you have, which is very popular, 3,600 members strong, and you officially made us the official radio show of UFOria Chronicles. Thank you so much for doing that. I really do appreciate that.
Not a problem, Dave. You deserve that. You do a lot for the ufology side of the sector there and everything, and you're very dedicated, and it takes a lot of hours doing what you're doing, and because of that, I appreciate what you're doing. And I think together we make a great mix, Spaced Out Radio, the SOR chat room, and UFOria Chronicles.
Absolutely.
One big happy family, buddy.
I think so, and you know, it's always good to get that support and hear the promotions that you guys are doing for us. You're doing a great job for that, and I thank you for that. James, a lot of people in this field are in the know. A lot of people think they're in the know. A lot of people who think they know really know nothing, and I think I fall in that category because I really don't know much about what is going on. Take us back a few years, if you don't mind, so we can introduce you to our audience who may not be familiar with you, on what got you started in really trying to figure out the equation between extraterrestrials and governments today.
Well, to be honest with you, it started way back when, and I kept on pushing it away from me. I was my biggest own skeptic. I've had sightings on both the paranormal side and UFO side ever since I was a teenager. And being a teenager in those years, in the 80s, everybody was partying. Everybody was, everybody was doing the sex, drugs, and rock and roll thing. And I was no different because I was just a teenager. So half the time I was seeing stuff, Dave, I always thought, well, geez, I've had one too many of the toothful I was drinking, right? So I kept on pushing it all aside. And it wasn't until about 4 or 5 occasions where friends of mine that were with me were pointing things out to me, and I took notice more. And I said, okay, well, it's not just me. It's not the drink. It's actually happening. And the UFO side of the scale, I never really was into it until about 2002, right? I know I've had sightings before, minor sightings. I've had a couple good ones. The best one I had was, again, in 2002, when me and my wife were at the cottage, and we had an egg-shaped craft, neon green egg-shaped craft come in, not much bigger than a Volkswagen Beetle car, with a brown chestnut window, chestnut brown colored window, but we couldn't see through it. And this thing hovered above our heads as we were making out by a fire, and we both noticed it from the top of our eyes. And as soon as we noticed it, I said, look at that. And she looked, and as soon as it was like telepathy, really. As soon as the craft knew we were looking at it, it shot up with such an incredible speed that in 1 second, I kid you not, 1 second, this thing was beyond the stars, and it made no sound. And the other thing was, it was so close to our heads, you could take a cigarette pack and fling it with little wings and hit it. That's how close it was. So I'm estimating maybe about 20 to 15 feet high above our heads. So there was that at that moment there that I said, wow, right? At the same time, I was a parapsychologist. I was doing a lot of ghost hunting work in Burlington and all over southern Ontario. So basically, I was doing investigations on the paranormal side. And we always had a little bit of ET creep then and UFO sightings, and even, I guess, black SUVs with black tinted windows used to hang out at graveyards when we were in graveyards checking out stuff. And that was our first encounters with, I guess we'd like to call MIBs or men in black or government agents or who knows if they're government agents or whoever they were definitely there following us and watching us and making their appearance known. Again, in 2002, that was the one that blew it over the top for me. And I said, well, you know, there's ghosts and there's UFOs, and UFOs are definitely more exciting. It's like the real deal here, right? And it's the Grand Enchilada. So I started focusing my attention more and more on UFOs, getting away from ghosts and other stuff like that. At the same time, I was having entity experiences all through the 2000s. And the last one I had, the last entity that you would say an alien entity experience was probably 2012-ish, and I seen a gray. And I ran out towards it. I seen it from the basement of my home, and I ran outside to go chase it down. And I kind of cornered it behind an air conditioning unit. And then I kind of felt something happen. It was like, I got the thought, what am I doing out here, right? And I think it was it communicating with me. And I said, you know what? Just leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. Just get out of here. And I went back in the house, and that was the last ET sighting I had, which was actually a gray, right?
It's amazing
so that's how it all started.
It's amazing how fast those little buggers are, isn't it?
They're very fast. They can jump really far. And they can also appear out of nowhere and disappear into nowhere, right? Just like a ghost. They can also go through walls. I've seen that happen.
That is interesting. The one thing I like about your story, James, is it's a little bit more than what happened to me. But on the flip side, it's very much similar in the fact that you started very paranormal, and the more that you started having paranormal experiences, all of a sudden the ET experiences started up as well. And in the SOR Space Travelers room right now, a gentleman named Pascal is in there. He's the one who actually helped me through all of this, and I always found it funny because I wanted to stick with the paranormal, and while Pascal was opening me up, he kept on saying, no, Dave, my guides are telling me you're going extraterrestrial. They want you to go extraterrestrial. And I fought it, and I fought it, and I fought it. And that's what ended up. And he was right all along. And it's amazing, though, how it folds from paranormal into the extraterrestrial realm, isn't it?
Well, it's true, and tell Pascal I said a big hello, because he must be a great guy to push you towards that game plan, towards ufology, because it is a whole new exciting field, and it's a lot more to offer you, right? So yeah, right, perfect. I think your experiences were meant for you, just as anybody else's experiences are meant for them. And the thing about the paranormal and how you and me both have similarities, I think the more and more we got more educated on the metaphysical side of stuff, the more prone we were to meeting ET. And the other thing I want to mention, too, about meeting ET, there's a saying that goes like this. It goes, if you want to meet them, if you want to have an experience, you got to meet them halfway, right? I forgot who it was that said it. It could have been James Gillian, right? But you got to go halfway. So what's that mean is you can't have any fear. And we do many sky watches and stuff like that. And the important thing with doing a sky watch is everybody's got to be in a good frame of mind and not be afraid, right? Because if you have a couple people in the group of, let's say, 15, 20 people, just a couple, and if they're afraid, well, it's going to distract from what was really going on, right, to have a sighting and stuff like that. And chances are kind of diminished at that point. But if you get a group of 10, 12 people that are all excited and I want to have a pro experience, your chances of having a sighting are greatly amplified. And we've had many occasions like that as well, right? Because UFOria Chronicles, when we started before the Facebook group, we were a paranormal ufological a group, but we would meet on a regular basis. We'd have meetings. We'd go out on sky watches. Sometimes we'd go camping. And we even checked out a couple UFO landing spots from past records. like the Oscar Margossi sightings, right? We actually camped on the land that he lived on, and we actually found the spot where the UFO landed, right? So we did a lot of things like that. And I think the ETs, too, the more and more you have awareness on that side and the metaphysical side into the spirituality side, especially the spirituality side, the more and more you recognize by them. And they seem to be watching you, right, looking over your shoulder. So it's like, everybody's watching everybody. It's the government's watching UFO abductees and experiencers, and the ETs are watching the government watch the UFO abductees and experiencers. So everybody's keeping tabs on everybody, right? So that's the way I kind of like it, and because it's almost like you're protected in a way, right? And it's kind of a cool thing to happen, right? Mm-hmm. So I like that.
Well, one of the things that I like about the UFO field is the fact that you can do it any night. Doesn't matter if it's cloudy, doesn't matter if it's clear out, even though it's easier to see things when it is clear and just a starry sky, especially if we're in a new moon phase like we are right now. But in reality, if you're connected, they can show you anywhere, anytime. Isn't that right?
Definitely. And they'll go one step further. And I challenge all your listeners out there to do the same thing I've done. We all have photographs, okay? Like in the 80s, we still were taking 35 mil photographs, and we had actual photographs rather than digital stuff. And that means we all have photo albums, whether it's at the mom's house or your dad's house or wherever they may be. I challenge everybody today or tomorrow when they want and when they get the albums, go through your photo albums. And I'll bet you, start from when you're a baby. If you have any pictures of you outside, look in the background of the sky, and I'll bet you'll see some stuff in those photographs that you never knew that were there before, because you never really knew to look in the photograph, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll bet you'll find some UFO photographs. I've done that, and I had a couple myself appear in them, right? There was one picture, I was in a White Sands missile range, and it was kind of funny. We took a family vacation to the Grand Canyon, and it was me, my brother, and my dad. And I was looking all over the desert there for, I'll be honest, I was looking for Peyote Dave, right? I didn't find any, but that's what I was looking for. I was right up by the fence. I seen the sign, this White Sands Missile Range, right? So it's right outside the fence. And then, the guy comes over, he drives up, he goes, "What are you guys doing here?" Right? "Oh, we're just sightseeing," right? He goes, "What are you looking for?" I said, "No, I was just checking out for some cactus," right? He goes, "Get the hell out of here," right? Like that. So I said, "Okay, we're leaving now." And I thought nothing of it, right? And anyway, they got a picture of me before that happened, and I was posing, and right behind me there's like 3 white dots in the sky. They look like light ships, right? Or orbs. And that was a pretty cool picture to pick up on years later. At the time it was taken, I didn't know what they were. I had no inkling. I thought they were just clouds. And when I got a magnifying glass and looked at the picture more carefully, I zoomed in and I said, "Wow." I said, "There's a Foo Fighter. There's 2 Foo Fighters in the picture." And then you get the orb photos too and all kinds of stuff like that. So what I'm trying to say is if you've seen UFO sightings in your 40s or 30s, there's probably a good chance you've had them when you were younger as well and you just didn't know about them. And if you look back in your photo albums, there's the evidence right there.
Mm-hmm. We are talking with James Borg from UFOria Chronicles tonight on Spaced Out Radio. You can find UFOria Chronicles as a group on Facebook. They are one of our groups that has us listed as their official show of UFOria Chronicles, which we thank James for. That happened as of last week. James, one of the things that I am very interested in, at what point did you all of a sudden start to tie 2 and 2 together that, yes, you were having extraterrestrial sightings, UFO sightings, but how long did it take you before those experiences really heated up to when you started tying it towards the government and what the governments knew?
All right, great question. It all started in 2007. 2007, again, it wasn't UFO related. I took a hiatus from the paranormal, because I had a young child, my son Eric, and my wife didn't want me to be a ghost hunter. So in 2005, I broke off ties with my partners and just called it quits, right? Because I had a son that was at that time 3 years old. My daughter wasn't born yet, but we were planning for her. And my wife didn't want me to bring the boogeyman home. So I kind of, I didn't do it no more. 2007, I got the itch again. And I said, well, you know what? I'm going to start my own group. I'm going to start a paranormal investigation team and go for it. So I checked the internet, and there was a group already there called the Meadowvale Spookies. Now, Meadowvale is a little suburb of Mississauga. It's a little town within the city. And they were number one on the Google list. I was like shocked. So I said, well, shit, if they're number one, I might as well just join these guys and help them out. So that's what I did. A week later, Meetup.com, that was the group we were with, was through Meetup.com. And they ask you for your hobbies. So, of course, I put down UFOs. And I got an email saying there's a new UFO group that's starting. It's called the ET Craft and Research Project. So automatically I joined it. I said, yeah, okay, I'll join these guys too. And about a week later was our first meeting. It was at a Swiss chalet in downtown Toronto. And at that meeting, nobody knew who anybody was. It was the very first meeting ever. And there's a black helicopter. Well, there was one black helicopter flying above the restaurant. So I looked up and I said, oh, that's kind of strange. It's kind of neat. No markings, black helicopter, and then you hear all the stories about the black helicopters. So I go in the Swiss chalet, I find the group, and they're all talking about it. Did you see the helicopter? Yeah, we seen the helicopter. And I started meeting their experiences. That's the first time I met Paul Shishi there. And there was Carl Dory there as well. And Lillian Vinkovic, she was the National Channeler. And that's the very first time. And after I started hanging out with Shishi, and we had ET Craft Research Project going in full swing, me and Shishi used to converse a lot. And while our phones began being tapped, we had computer problems, computer interference, and stuff like that. And also I noticed I used to live in a condominium, so a couple times going into work at 6:30 in the morning, you pull out of the driveway of the condo and you get on the street, and you have police pull you over for no reason, right? And they're really lame excuses. Well, what are you smoking? Well, I'm smoking a cigarette. You sure it's not a joint? Yeah, it's not a joint. Roll down the window, give them the ID, and the license and everything else. I go, officer, look, I got to open the store up in like 20 minutes. Really, I'm not smoking pot or whatever, just cigarettes. All right, go. You can go. Free, go. Another time I got pulled over because I'm drinking coffee. Right? I'm drinking coffee. Are you drinking? Well, I'm drinking coffee. Well, can we see your cup? Like, yeah, here you go, buddy. You know what I mean? So I used to get hassled a lot going into work. So they were making your life a little bit harder, a little bit more tedious, right? They're actually trying to make me late for work. That's what it is. They're trying to do some interference. And that was just the police, right? Why they're doing that, I don't know. Maybe I have no reason why, but you can only suspect things, right? And I don't want to say any bad things about anybody and everything else. And I don't mind the police. They have a job to do and everything else. I know they get a bad rap all the time. And I know for sure there's got to be good cops out there, right? It's just there's good and bad in everyone, right? So I try to make a positive experience of everything. But I've been interfered with a few times. Other times, my computers. I've been through, since I've had computers, I've been through about 5 different computers that got blown, right? So what that means is somebody put in a virus, there's adware, spyware, the whole list of plethora of stuff. And I think it was them just trying to get me off the web, right? And so on all with computer-related issues, I probably spent about $12,000 to $14,000 worth of computers and hard drives and getting fixed and getting the antiviruses installed and the whole plethora of stuff, right? So they do have their way of interfering, right? And they could hack your computer at any point, right? So If they have unlimited control over stuff like that. And so what are you going to do about it? Listen, there's really nothing you can do about it. I have nothing to hide. I'm not a terrorist. I'm doing nothing wrong. I have a hobby, which is I like looking at UFOs. I like sky watching. Why? Because I've actually seen some stuff. So, after you see some stuff, you figure, you pretend you're like James T. Kirk of the Star Trek Enterprise. You're like, wow, I'm going where no man's gone before because I'm actually seeing stuff. So that's my interest. And I guess because I have an interest, because I got lucky and I took a few pictures, they happened to pay me interest, right? At another time, I was at a place called the Cheltenham Badlands. It's about a half hour away from Brampton, and it's actually it's a world national site. I forgot the name of it, but they have a rating for it. It's United Nations UNESCO. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And we've done many sky watches there. We had a sacred circle done there. We had many UFO sightings there. A lot of pictures on my web were taken from the Cheltenham Badlands. And so what happened to that place now? The place has been gated up, closed, okay? They put a fence up around the place. There's no parking signs anywhere. There's even fines if you stop. What makes this place so special, Dave, is it's got burrows, big burrows that dip down. Looks like Mars. Looks like the topography of Mars. And at this location, we've had quite a few UFO sightings. And because of that, I guess a lot of people started stopping there and doing the same thing I'm doing. And to make a long story short, the city of Caledon closed it down 2 years ago. And it's been closed down ever since, which is remarkable because, like I said, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And they closed it down, they fenced it all off, and put no trespassing signs up.
Right.
So that makes you wonder.
Right. James, I tell you, man, you are a legitimate Captain Kirk when it comes to all of the sightings of UFOs that you have had over the years. Definitely a plethora of sightings and experiences that you have nailed down. James, we're going to get into more of those as we go on here. We're going to hop out for our first break of the night. When we come back, more talk about UFOs, ETs, experiences, and how it ties in to the government. Right after this, with UFOria Chronicles, James Borg. You're listening to Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott. Plethora of commercials coming up right now.
Would you like to become one of our space travelers? All you have to do is click on the Space Travelers icon at spacedoutradio.com. For only $5 a month, you can get access to some great prizes, as well as private monthly shows, newsletters, and a members-only section on our website. Become a space traveler today.
Hi there. This is your medium, Joanna, from Spaced Out Weekend, 2 mediums and a large. I would love it if you would come and join us with host James Tyson every other Sunday on Spaced Out Weekend. Together, we will take your calls and your questions live. Our goal is to provide you with a positive outlook on deep questions that you may have. Questions regarding love, relationships, money, or whatever else is on your mind. Come and check us out at spacedoutradio.com.
Every Saturday and Sunday night, as Dave Scott wanders aimlessly in the wilderness, you can come hang out with me, James Tyson, in Spaced Out Weekend. Starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, I'll take you along as we talk with some of the best experts in their fields. SpacedOutRadio.com is the place to find us. So sit down, relax, put your feet up. Enjoy the topics like the paranormal, supernatural, intuitiveness, and so much more. Hope to see you there.
Hi there, this is Elizabeth Anglin, and on the last Monday of every month, I join Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's Cosmic Passport. We delve into everything from extraterrestrial contact to animal communication. It's a lot of fun, and every month it's something different and exciting. I would love it if you would join us. You can hear and learn from my experiences, and I'd like to know about yours as well. Cosmic Passport on spacedoutradio.com.
Hey everybody, this is Patrick Webster Small, and I'm here to bring you the Webster Phenomena every Saturday night, live at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. If you're looking for aliens and extraterrestrials, well, we've got them. Big and tall, short and small. You're bound to find what you're looking for, so join me on the Webster Phenomena right here on Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. With their money-back guarantee and the many benefits, how can you afford not to get one? Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com for mind, body, and spirit, and expect a miracle.
Have you ever wondered about those weird and strange creatures people have reported throughout history? Do you wonder if those stories are real? Me too, and that's why I started Cryptopia.us. Hey, this is Rob Morphy, crypto historian. Join me once a month on Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott, where we will get into the odd and bizarre reports, from the Dover demon to hairy hominids and everything in between. I will break down what people like you and me are seeing at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost?
Look no further than Spaced Out Radio.
SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click on to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on radio
or our website, including social media.
From commercial spots to banners, we have it all.
Check out our competitive pricing today.
Want to connect with us online? Find us on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show, on Twitter, @Spaced Out Radio, on Instagram, Dave Scott, SOR, on YouTube, Spaced Out Radio Show, and our website is spacedoutradio.com. All right, space travelers, here comes the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Welcome back to Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for being with us. Always a pleasure to have you in the room. If you're listening on the SHR Media Network, in the Spreaker chat room for Spaced Out Radio, if you're on Paranormal Forum, UFOria Chronicles, or the SOR Space Travelers, which is packed up right now, we love having you with us. Thank you so much for being with us. Tomorrow night on the show, Samantha Mowat will join us for the ET Experience. We're going to go over what happened between her and I when I saw my first extraterrestrial with her. We had Samantha on a couple of months ago when we were still learning Spreaker. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. If you remember, my computer had blown up at that point. And so we had to reschedule. Not many people got to hear that show because the audio kept cutting out. But since we're up and running and perfect now, Samantha will be with us tomorrow night on Spaced Out Radio. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do so at Spaced Out Radio. Give our Facebook page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. On Instagram, I can be followed at Dave Scott, SOR. Our YouTube channel is Spaced Out Radio Show. Subscribe to that. And, of course, our website is spacedoutradio.com. Tonight we are talking extraterrestrials, government cover-ups, and so much more with James Borg from UFOria Chronicles. You can Google or Facebook his UFOria Chronicles page. James, thank you so much for being with us.
Not a problem, buddy.
Now, before the break, you started telling us about how you noticed you were getting followed, your phones were being tapped, your computers were starting to blow up for absolutely no reason with megaviruses and malware, and then you started seeing black helicopters. Tell us about those, because I've never had any of those experiences.
Okay, I'll give you some juicy stuff here. So I was talking about the Cheltenham Badlands, correct? And I'll give you an experience of one sighting we had. It was a group sighting. I was with a guy by the name of Joe. And usually when we start these sky watches, we start about an hour or two before sunset, and then we go in probably till, it's not uncommon to go like till 3 in the morning, right? And it's just a matter of how bored we are or how good the fishing is for UFOs, is how long we stay. But anyway, this was a good night. We were getting sightings, and I was getting pictures. I was getting pictures of strange craft, sort of like the Star Wars type crafts. So I'm like, well, what am I really seeing here, right? And it was digital photography and stuff like that, and I was really excited. So by the time we got home that evening, it was around 3-something in the morning, and I was all pumped and excited. And my buddy Paul Shishi says, "Oh, when you get UFO sightings, report them." So I said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to report these things. So I went on the UFO casebook and I started reporting the sighting. I went into there's a couple other ones there. Brian Vike used to have, actually Brian Vike out of Vancouver there, BC. He used to have a UFO reporting place. So I reported to Brian Vike. There was another guy there, George Flyler. And so I made 3 separate UFO sighting reports to 3 separate UFO reporting groups. And I called it a night and I went to bed. So that was a Friday night. The next morning, Saturday. So I'm sleeping. My wife went into work. And I hear a helicopter. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. I was living on the 7th floor of a 15-story condominium. And I was there was 3 condominiums, actually 4 condominiums, one behind me, and I was one in front of that one. There was one to the side of me, and there was one in front of me. So it kind of formed a U, right? A U in the geography there. And each condo was 15 stories high. Now, when I heard the helicopter noise, my bed backed right up to the window, and I opened the blinds, and I see a helicopter hovering about maybe on the 8th floor, like right in front of my apartment, right? So I flipped. I was saying, what the hell, you know what I mean? So I was fumbling around to get my camera because I wanted to take a picture of this helicopter, because this helicopter's got to be breaking every single aviation bylaw out there. Like, he's in the middle of 3 condominium buildings. He's about 8 stories high, and he's in the middle of all 3 condominiums, right? So I wanted to get a picture of the guy. I even know what the guy looks like. The guy had brown hair, he had a full-blown beard, was wearing sunglasses, and the helicopter itself was a white and orange one. All right, it wasn't black. But the fact of the matter was, hovering at 8 stories high in the middle of 3 condominiums got my attention. Like, he's got to be breaking every single aviation rule. Anyway, he took off because I think he figured I was trying to get a camera. And then that got my interest. So that was the first one. Right? That was right in my face. Right? And I said, well, you know, that's wow. I mean, that's unheard of, right? And then I'd be in my travels, I'd see the black ones hovering above me, right? And sometimes I'd see, I got many pictures. I've got a few pictures out there that I have a UFO sighting, so I'm snapping pictures of the UFO, and there's a helicopter in the picture. And I want to tip off what I believe is happening when you see helicopters and UFOs. Right? So if you got a UFO sighting and you see a helicopter, it's my belief that the reason why the helicopter's there is because that particular UFO, that particular craft, is not from Earth. It's actually an extraterrestrial craft. It's not a sanctioned Earth vehicle. So it's on the radar, and that's why they send the helicopters, or that's why they scramble the jets, because what you're seeing is an extraterrestrial craft. When you see a UFO and you're taking pictures, and you don't see any helicopters, you don't see any planes, then it's one of theirs. And usually that's when you see the triangular spaceships, what we now found out was the TR-3Bs. But back in 2007, 2008, up until around 2011, nobody really knew whether it was a TR-3B or not, because it was classified. It was top secret. And then the word started coming out, right? And anytime I've seen a triangular craft sighting, I've never seen helicopters. When I've seen the disc-shaped sightings, I've seen a few helicopters, which again leads me to believe that they're extraterrestrial craft. They're not from Earth. And I also believe that our Black Ops programs, which we have a whole plethora of them, and they're all classified, are making UFOs. And they have their own fleets. And while Gary McKinnon broke the story when he hacked into the NASA, actually it was the Navy's website. It was actually the Navy that had it. So all the Earth-based UFOs were from the Navy. Kind of contrary to belief, you'd think it'd be the Air Force. No, it's the Navy. Right? And he had he hacked in and he got a list of all these vessels. They called them vessels. They called them crafts with personnel on them. And then when he looks on the shipping registries, there's no ships registered in those names. right? But they're all registered as crafts or vehicles or ships, right? And it's funny they tag them ships and it's being the Navy, right? So yeah, they are Navy ships, but they're actually not ships. They're in the water. They actually fly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
James,
there you go, right? And I've had a...
Go ahead, please.
Sorry, go on.
Well,
okay. One other time I was with my son, and we're driving to a hockey game. We were pretty early, and we had a black helicopter, hover above us. And I said to my son, I said, "Do you want to follow it?" And he goes, "Yeah." So we followed it. Anyway, we took it. We followed it right to the Downsview military base, right? And I drove right in the parking lot, watched it land, and I was about maybe 50 feet away from it. I'm watching it now land, all right? And we're in the car watching this thing, and I'll tell you, the look on those two pilots' face, they never left the helicopter. I took picture after picture. I got about maybe 10 or 12 pictures of this black helicopter already landing, right? And they stayed in their copter for like 40 minutes. They didn't get out, right? And then it was me. I got bored. I said, let's go back, right? And he had a hockey game to go to, too. We were running a little late, and we left. But that's a story of the hunter becoming the hunted becoming the hunter. And I actually found out where they are and where they land, which is Downsview. So,
James,
there you go.
Take me back to when that helicopter is in between the apartments. I mean, here you are. I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you're opening up a can of tuna for a sandwich or something along those lines. And you hear this...
I was sleeping.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe a plethora of dreams going through your head. I don't know. Okay? But what I'm saying here is... Tell us how you were feeling. You had just had these experiences happen, and now all of a sudden there is a helicopter hovering right in front of your 8th floor apartment, which to me seems quite illegal as well. And did you think at first that they were looking for you? Did you know it was for you, or did you just get this sense that you immediately tied it together and one thing came to another, and boom, there you go. This guy is looking right at you, trying to find where you're living?
No, it's all the above what you said. And it was like, wow, what's going on? This is crazy. This is unbelievable. Like, I mean, holy crow, right? All those thoughts running through your head, right? And you hear these stories. Remember the movie there that was made by famous director there? He made the movie called Taken.
Yes.
Right? It was like a 12-hour miniseries, right? So it brings you back to that movie. It's like, shit, man, it's real. They're there. They're there for you. And because I just made UFO sighting reports 5 hours prior, right? So it was about 8:30 in the morning, right, when this thing was hovering. It was like Saturday morning, 8:30. There it was, right? And then when it seen me moving around, getting out of bed, looking for something, it skedaddled out of there, right? I guess it assumed that I was going to take its picture, and it didn't want its picture taken, right? And it's intrusive, too. What I thought was it's really intrusive. I said, not only is it intrusive, again, it was breaking every single aviation bylaw, right? Helicopters aren't allowed to do that, right? It's a violation of airspace, of residential airspace, right? Plus, it's a hazard. It's a safety hazard, right?
Well,
you can't come that close.
No, I understand that, but let me ask you this then. Because we hear so many stories, James, in regards to what is happening with government and extraterrestrials, black helicopters, men in black. We normally hear of that in the United States. We don't get a lot of that up here in Canada. Did you think at that time you were an anomaly, or that maybe the Canadian government is a little tightly, or pardon my my stumbling here, but maybe a little tighter to the United States when it comes to the field of UFOs and ufology?
Yes and yes. All right. I'll tell you another story. Went up to the cottage. Here's one for you. I announced on my group, this is when I started Ufopia, which was before Euphoria, it was leading up to Euphoria. I announced to the group, I said, look, I'm going to be off the net because I'm going on my summer holiday, and I'm going up to my family cottage in McKellar Lake, Ontario. That was my last message on the internet. So we got up there Sunday night, okay? Usually we get, most people travel Friday. For some reason, we went up Sunday night. We had the whole week. We said, we'll just take our time getting up there. The first night, not a problem. The first morning, which would be Monday morning, and Monday, during the weekdays, most of the people are gone back to their 9-to-5 jobs, so we had pretty much the whole lake to ourselves, more or less, right? Anyway, I woke up pretty early, and I made some coffee. I went into our sunroom. We had a little sunroom that screened in and stuff like that, so I decided to have a coffee and catch up on some books on ufology. And it wasn't until about 7 o'clock, 7:30, where my son woke up. And I guess where his bedroom was in the cottage, and when he looked out upon the lake, he was seeing a seaplane parked right outside our cottage. And the funny thing is, where I was sitting, we have a boathouse in front, so I couldn't see the lake from my vantage point. But my son coming out of the bedroom could see the plane. So he casually comes up to me, and he's probably, 4 or 5 years old at that time. And he goes, "Hey, Daddy, how come there's a seaplane parked outside our cottage?" I go, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, there's a seaplane there." As soon as he said that, I heard the propellers start up and this plane take off, all right? So this plane was there, probably with a parabolic microphone, probably listening to us, right? Because it just took off, right? I said, "That's interesting." And it took off so fast I couldn't even grab a camera and take a picture of it. So I marked it down, I tagged it, I said, "Okay, this is interesting." All right? So later on that day, we cut the grass, and there's about, 3/4 of an acre of grass, and the land itself has got a lot of pine trees and spruce trees, and it was pretty forested too. Right? So after I cut the grass, I said, "Okay, it's time to get rid of the dead branches on the trees." So I like tree climbing. I take a machete up and cut some dead branches. All of a sudden, when I'm on this tree, I'm getting what I feel like an earthquake. I'm going, "What the hell's going on? It's an earthquake happening?" So I quickly get myself down the tree. I'm on the ground, and the ground's shaking, and it's not an earthquake. I'm seeing something black come by, right? And this is the meanest, ugliest, scariest helicopter I've ever seen in my life. And I'm in Canada here. This is Parry Sound, near Parry Sound, Ontario. I've seen a military-style helicopter with, how they have the guns on the side, right? Mm-hmm. With missiles or whatever it is, That's what it was, right? I don't know if it was called a Black Hawk or whatever, or Apache, something like that. It was a military-grade helicopter, black, evil, okay? It looked fucking evil. And I looked at it, and it flew right over me. It hovered over me, looked at me. I looked like a sitting duck. I didn't know whether it was going to open fire on me because it was looking right at me, and then it just took off. Right? Actually scared the bejesus out of me because you don't expect to see that there, right? I mean, it's like a scene out of Vietnam now, right? Anyway, that stunned me. That took me for a loop, right? And I was like, "Holy shit, man!" I said, "First the plane, now this Black Hawk helicopter." All right? And then later on that week, we had a few sightings and stuff like that, right? But it was like I've been tagged now. It's like I've been tagged by whoever's running the programs. I've been tagged by other people too, right? So that's where we're at.
James, what do you say to people who say to you, because everybody in this field has critics, they say, "James, you're paranoid. It's just helicopters that are flying out of a local airport. It's just vehicles from your neighbors who have company over. It's just your phone. Maybe it's old. It's clicking." There's a lot of people who look to put a human definition on this because they would say, "James, you sound paranoid. You sound like you're a little bit off the rocker here when it comes to this subject." How do you argue that? How do you get your truth across?
Nowadays, I just give up. I just say, "You know what? Yeah, you're right." Right? I end the conversation right there because I don't want to waste my breath talking to these people. Right? Either they know or they want to know, or they don't want to know. Right? Usually, when they make excuses like that, then they just don't want to know, right? And you know what? C'est la vie, right? You know what? At that point, you're not my cup of tea. You're not the people I want to be around anyway, and whatever it is. I just, okay, no problem. You know what? Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I got to go. See you later, buddy. And I leave. Right? I don't want I don't want confrontations. I know as far as what I've researched, as far as what I took pictures of, what I filmed, I know what they are. It's like a saying, I know what I've seen. Right? And they could say all they want. You could have the best UFO picture, Dave. You could post it, and you're going to have everybody say, "No, it's not a UFO. It's a cloud. It's a plane. It's a butterfly. It's a mosquito. It's whatever." Right? You know what? I'm tired of that. It doesn't matter no more to me. It's like, okay, whatever. That's your opinion. Whatever. Right? It's happened so many times to me. It's old hat now. Right? And that's why I formed UFOria Chronicles in the first place. Right? Because I want people like me to come together. I want the UFO experiencers to come together. I want the alien abductees to come together. A venue where we can all talk, we can share our views, share our pictures, share our opinions, share our thoughts, have meetings, and discuss openly with our peers who've had similar experiences. So then we're not looked upon as retards or loonies or nerds or whatever else they want to call us, or one step away from the mental institution, right? Because I get all that, right? And I know what it is. We know what it is. And if you don't want to accept it, well, that's your prerogative, right? You don't have to accept it. But we were providing a venue for people like us, right? It's like somebody collecting stamps. They provide a venue for other stamp collectors, right? This is what we're doing. And this is actually what UFOria Chronicles is. It's a meeting place for everybody who's into the paranormal, who's into UFOs and ufological, who's had experiences to talk about it. And if people want to join in and haven't had UFO experiences, well, they can learn a few stories and get a lot of research done, and because there's a whole bunch of us that have had experiences, right? We've got we've got some hardcore people on there, right? We've got authors there. We've got filmmakers there. The list is pretty intensive of who's on there, right? And then the one thing I like about UFOria Chronicles, I'd rather talk to the Andrea Spartas of the world, right? The regular people living regular lives. They're having sightings that say, "Jim, look what I took a picture of. What do you think?" And they go, "Yeah, you got one there," right? And share the excitement that way. I'd rather talk to those people than these so-called experts, right, to tell you the truth, because that's where it's all about. It's like being in service to others rather than service to self.
Well, that brings up a whole different cachet of questions in regards to the experiencer, because a lot of these, it's funny, because Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal in Washington State, he is putting on a Paracon this fall that I'm going to be speaking at. And one of the things that he asked me what we're going to talk about is I'm going to talk about the experiencer, because a lot of these conferences seem to be forgetting about the experiencer. And there's a lot of people who are so-called or deemed experts in the field, and I'm not going to mention them by names, who are now saying, we cannot rely on the experiencer anymore. It's gone too far. We need the government. We need disclosure. We need to figure out what's powering them up, what's powering them down, the physics behind it, the science behind it. And yet there's a lot of people out there who are having experiences on a weekly, daily, monthly, bi-monthly basis, and they're being shunned. What is your opinion on that?
Well, I think there's a syndicate going out there. In ufology, there's a syndicate. There's one side of you got the speaker syndicate that's always funded by MUFON, right? MUFON conferences always bring on the same old people. It's always the same repertoire, right? I'm not going to name names because, they are good people and whatever, and I have nothing against them. But it's the same olds, right? Where's the James Gillians of the world, right? There's a guy in Washington State that's getting UFO sightings out the wazoo all the time, right? Why isn't he speaking out there? Why isn't Jim Sparks speaking, right? Why isn't Dave Scott and James Borg speaking, right? Why isn't Paul Shishi speaking, right? What are they afraid of, right? So I think it's got a lot more to do. It's like, some of these guys that are speaking, they go on record and they say, well, no, I haven't had a UFO sighting, and that's irrelevant. Excuse me? You're writing books about UFOs, and you yourself haven't had a UFO sighting, so you're relying on the information of other people? And then they go one step further, Dave. They go, well, you know what? We don't accept all the claims from all the people. They got to be credible people. They got to be credible witnesses. So let's look at the credible witnesses, the criteria for a credible witness. Well, they got to be a fireman. They got to be a nurse. They got to be a practitioner of the medical field. They got to be a policeman. They got to be a pilot. They got to be a cop or a military figure, right? This is the criteria, or a lawyer, or a judge, right? But when Bruno the plumber is driving home from work and has a freaky experience, they don't want to hear his story. Why? Because he's a plumber? Come on, buddy. Society is made up of all types of people, right? And if you're not willing to hear from everyday people, then maybe everyday people shouldn't go pay your $40 to go see you talk at a conference, right? That's my opinion. Or buy your $30 book, right? Because maybe it will be a waste of time to them because you're going on hearsay evidence to begin with, right? So if you talk to a couple of experiencers, then write a book about that, right? Well, that's my opinion on it all, right?
It does get frustrating, to say the least. James, I'm going to get you to hold on here. We're going to hop out for a break at the top of the hour. When we come back, we're going to learn more about Men in Black. We're going to learn more about the government cover-ups and so much more. James Borg is our guest from UFOria Chronicles. You can find his site on Facebook. I am your host, Dave Scott. You're listening to Spaced Out Radio. We'll be right back right after this.
Greetings and salutations, space travelers, from the Chronicles of the Unknown team.
What is Chronicles of the Unknown? I keep hearing about this thing.
It's a new paranormal reality TV show based right here in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. Follow our team as we uncover claims of activity on the Caribou Gold Rush Trail. You can also follow us here every third Monday, where 2 members of our team will be available to answer your questions. We'll give you some equipment updates and some of our experiences on the road, right here on Spaced Out Radio on the Spreaker.com network.
Do you believe you've been in contact with extraterrestrials? Have you seen the Greys, the Mantids, or the Reptilians? I am Samantha Mullet, and on the second Tuesday of each month, you can listen and learn from my experiences with off-worlders on Spaced Out Radio's The ET Experience. With host Dave Scott, we'll sit down and chat about what's going on with our friends from other worlds. We'll also try to answer your questions, so please tune in on the second Tuesday of the month, only on Spaced Out Radio.
Are you interested in advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Head to our website at spacedoutradio.com and click on our advertising tab. There, you will find an assortment of ways you can get your product out there with us, from radio commercials to banners and social media. Have a product you like our hosts to endorse? We can do that too. Visit spacedoutradio.com for more details.
Did you know that Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi, it's James Tyson from Spaced Out Weekend. Every Saturday and Sunday night, starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, you can join me and my guests for some great chatter about what's going on out in the universe, or even in that dark part of the basement you really don't want to go back into. Well, let's find the answers to your experiences together. So come on up to Uncle Jimbo's cabin on the weekend. For more information, look us up at spacedoutradio.com.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Attention Spaced Out Radio listeners. For only $5 a month, you can join Spaced Out Radio Space Travelers. Your membership at spacedoutradio.com will give you access to private fan area on the website, get you a monthly newsletter, draws for monthly swag, and a whole lot more. Sign up today to become a part of the Spaced Out Radio experience.
Right here, this is where we divulge the fruit of our research. Here on the Webster Phenomena every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern on Spaced Out Radio. And we give it up to you guys, all the listeners, and the live listeners usually get something special and hang out in the chat room. And we love to have you. So we'll see you every Saturday night at 8 p.m. You know where.
If you're a fan of social media, you can follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Give our Facebook page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. You can also follow us on Instagram, Dave Scott, SOR. Our YouTube channel, where our archives are stored, is Spaced Out Radio Show. And of course, our website is spacedoutradio.com. Welcome back to the second hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. We welcome in those listening in at Paranormal Into the Night. If you're listening in on the SHR Media Network, Spaced Out Radio's chat room on Spreaker, SOR Space Travelers, or UFOria Chronicles, thank you so much for being with us. Great to have you here tonight. Our guest is James Borg from UFOria Chronicles. We will bring him on momentarily. Tomorrow night on the show, we are bringing in Samantha Mowat. We're going to be talking the ET experience. Last time she was on, we had some technical difficulties back in March when we were still learning Spreaker. My computer blew up, to be honest, and many of you didn't get to hear the full interview, so we're going to have her on tomorrow night as she is a monthly guest on this show. Want to remind you, you can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Give our Facebook page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. On Instagram, we can be followed at Dave Scott, SOR. Our YouTube channel is Spaced Out Radio Show. Subscribe to that. And, of course, our website is spacedoutradio.com. We bring in James Borg once again from UFOria Chronicles. You could sign up for free on his Facebook group to find out all the latest information that's going on. James, thank you for being with us.
Not a problem, buddy.
Do you think that you are still being followed around? Do you feel safe?
Yeah, I do. Yes and yes. Like I said, they're watching me, and there's other people watching them watching me. So I feel safe, yeah.
Who's watching them?
Who's watching them? Our space brothers from the top side. They're watching everybody.
So do you think it's the space brothers, as you call them, that are protecting you?
And sisters. Yeah, I would say so, sure. Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Because I got a good heart. I got a good soul. I try to do that as much as I can for anybody I see. Look, Dave, you know what happened to me yesterday? I was doing some kind of household thing. I was moving some stuff around and for a friend of mine, and I was driving on a secondary road, pretty busy secondary road, Steeles Avenue actually, which in Toronto, Steeles Avenue is a pretty busy street. And I'm going to Steeles to get on the highway, and I pass a guy that fell on the road. Right, so he's halfway on the sidewalk, halfway on the road. He's on a bicycle, but he's on the floor. He's on the ground. The bike's on the ground. And I'll tell you, Dave, there must have been about 40 cars that passed this guy, didn't stop. I looked, and this guy looks like he's mangled. He's hurt. Mm-hmm. So what do? I stopped the car. Put my flashers on, get out of the car, and say, buddy, you okay? Right? I try to offer some assistance. And that's what I did. I try to help. I mean, when I see people in need, I'll stop the car. I'll help. I won't let them suffer. I see somebody bleeding. I'll help the guy out. That's who I am, right? I won't let people go. I'm trying to do good things, and I try to be a good person. And to me, that's being a good person. What gets me is the 40, 50 cars that passed this guy. Let him be on the road, right? This guy was halfway on the road, halfway on the sidewalk. A car could have hit him, right? And if I didn't stop, maybe a car would have hit him, right? Anyway, it turns out the guy had a broken He had a mangled knee, and he had the problem with his hip, and we called the ambulance, and the ambulance came for him, right? He was in need. He got hurt. He was like a 65-year-old guy. He must have hit a little nook in the road and took a tumble on his bicycle, right? And this is what gets me with society, right? This is why we're all being watched. It's all whatever we do. They're seeing who we are, right? We're being watched. It's a test. It's like a school test, okay? It's like we're writing an exam. Are we going to get it, or are we not going to get it? And you don't know when the buzzer's going to go off and saying, hand in your test, all right? But it's your deeds you do in life that count. And like I said, I'm striving to be a very spiritual person, and I'm a student in the subject, and I try to do what's best for humanity. I am in service to others, all right? That's who I am. And this is why I have the websites, and I offer assistance, and I offer opinions. I try to help people, and I do what I do, right?
Right.
So that's who I am.
James, Gail has a question from the SOR Space Travelers Room for you. What specifically makes you believe, James, that you are under surveillance?
Well, it's experience, right? Before I got on the show, Dave, I'm talking in my car. I'm talking in my car because I can't smoke in the house because I got 2 small kids and I'm not allowed to smoke in the house. So I go in my car and I'm in the privacy of my car. I'm drinking my Gatorade and I can smoke my cigarettes, right? So as I was getting the show, right across the street from me was an SUV with black tinted windows. It was the second time I was there. So it's a strange car, right? It's an oddity, right? I don't know. Maybe they're visiting a friend. It's the second time it's happened now. But it's been like that it's been like that since about 2007 solid, right? And there's the cops when they pull you over, right, for lame excuses. The helicopters. One time I had a black helicopter. I was coming back from a friend's house, and I'm seeing a black helicopter hovering above my house. And I'm with my son in the car, and I'm going, that looks like it's over our house. He goes, yeah, Daddy, it looks like it's over our house. As we get closer, it is over our house. Why is it hovering above our house? It's obvious, because I made some UFO reports, because I got lucky enough and they took some pictures, they've got an interest in me, all right? And if I didn't take those pictures and I didn't post those pictures, they wouldn't bother with me. But I did, right? I did, and there they are, right? And look, I've got nothing to hide, and I got nothing against them, right? And they probably got some good reasons, too, why all the cover-ups and stuff like that. And you know what? Frankly, what can I say? I don't know anything about classified business, nor do I want to know. It's classified, right? Whatever they want to keep, that's up to them. I would like to have it all come out in the open, though, right? But I don't think there's so many secrets that they're covering up. I think it's impossible for them to just say, hey, you know what? This is how it is, right? Because then you'd be dealing with so many different issues on many levels. And you know who's a good person to talk about that is Steve Bassett, right?
Steve will be on this show next month on the 22nd.
Oh, he's going to blow your mind. You want to talk about conspiracies and the secrets? Steve will tell you left, right, and center what should come out and what should be disclosed. And he's an advocate for full disclosure. So what's full disclosure mean? It means everything. He wants to know what happened to Uncle Ernie, okay? Or the friend, the long-lost friend from 1972 that's disappeared. He wants all the secrets out. That's a hard pill to swallow, right? That's a lot of secrets. Steve Bassett will blow your mind on that, man. He's great.
Mm-hmm. James, have you ever met an extraterrestrial?
Yes. I've had sightings. I guess when you have a sighting, you have a meeting. So I've met the Greys. I've met the Greys maybe about 4 or 5 different times. I've met a Draco. I've met a Palladian. Palladians, actually. I've met Palladians at Chittleham Badlands with Rick Klassen.
I have a follow-up question from Lisa in the SOR Space Travelers room, and she is asking, in regards to you being under surveillance, do you feel you are a targeted individual?
You know what? I don't dwell on that, and you know, like I said, I've got nothing to hide. You've seen my pictures. That's what it is. Like, there's nothing else I got more to say. I've had experiences where I'll tell you a story. I was run off the road one time. I was coming from a military base. We had a sky watch. Here's one that'll blow your socks off. I used to be friends with an Army cadet, okay? And he used to be based at a military base an hour away from Toronto. And he was a big UFO guy. He wanted to see sightings, and he was part of my group. And then he said, you know what, come out to the base. And it was all done through email, all these invites. And I think because it was done through email, they had a tracking on where I was going and who I was going with. And they already knew what base I was going to. And I went there, and yeah, we had a sighting. It was a 2-second sighting that they seen that blew their socks off. I didn't actually see it. I had my back turned towards it. I was fumbling for stuff in the trunk. Anyway, to make a long story short, on the ride home, on the 400 highway, just south of the Highway 9, I'm in the right-hand lane doing my 100 kilometers an hour with a buddy of mine who's a black belt in martial arts. And we're driving, and I pass a Cadillac Eldorado, okay? Nice Cadillac Eldorado, black tinted windows, nice and shiny as the street light was shining on it. This thing looked like it was brand new, okay? 1978, 79 Cadillac Eldorado, the big boats, all right? And as I passed, I'm going, wow, you don't see too many of those anymore. And I kept on going. I'll tell you what happened next. This thing pulls up on the soft shoulder about a minute later, cruising, okay, cruising. It must have been going about 140, 150. No headlights on, all right? So I seen it as it's passing me, and it tried to cut me off from the soft shoulder onto the first lane of the highway. So what happened, I slid on the brakes, let it get in front of me, got over a couple lanes, and got back again into the right lane. And then I was following it, all right? So what it tried to do was actually take out my right front tire, all right? It's a racing maneuver, all right? Paul Tracy got in shit with that over a couple times, because when you do that, you spin out the car. If the right tire blows, your car does a spinorama. The car does a spinorama, everyone behind you starts piling into you, all right? There's a car accident. James Borg is found dead on the road due to a car accident. Well, that didn't happen, all right? See, why? Because I'm a hell of a driver, right? I come from a racing car family, right? I have a lot of advantages. I'm also a paranormal psychologist, paranormal researcher. I'm into the martial arts. I'm in the occult. I'm not an easy guy to, excuse my language, fuck with, right? I could fire a gun pretty good. I could shoot a bow and arrow like no tomorrow, right in bullseye, right? I could throw a knife pretty good. I could track pretty good. I could run pretty quick. I'm pretty athletic. So to put a bottom line with, you wouldn't want to really have a fight with me, because it wouldn't be a nice thing, right?
Well, so if you're still packing that mullet, that was some great hockey hair you had back in the day. You know, I'm
actually growing it back.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
I'm growing it back, buddy.
That's good. That you scrub the head and shoulders in there, get all the bubbles in there. You know, you'll be a commercial in no time, my friend.
No, well, maybe I'll get to earn some money, because right now I have no job, so that'd be great.
I do want to ask you more about the extraterrestrials, because I've had a phone caller call in here, a friend of yours named Audrey. And,
right on. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I want to bring Audrey in here momentarily.
Michael, fantastic, yeah.
Michael has a quick question, though. James, could you please describe some of the different shapes of craft you have seen?
Okay, I've seen disc-shaped crafts, lots of them. I've seen triangular crafts. I've seen the TR-3B. I've seen an egg-shaped craft. with a neon green, was neon green and a brown chestnut window. I've seen a U-shaped vehicle, okay, which was very similar to like the Star Wars type. My wife's seen what looks like a Millennium Falcon type. That's what she described it as, because my wife sees sightings too sometimes, right? It's a family affair, right? What else have I seen? I've seen orbs in the sky. I've seen the Foo Fighter types. I've seen the light ship types. That's probably about, and I've seen one really strange one in Burlington, Ontario for about 2 or 3 seconds. It was like a hiccup in the sky. It was like a dimensional thing happened, and I seen this huge craft. It almost looked like the Starship Enterprise. No shit. So those are the crafts I've seen.
Before we bring Audrey on here, I want to ask you and get a little bit more into extraterrestrials, Men in Black, so on and so forth. Have you had experiences with the Men in Black?
Face-to-face? No. Well, actually, hang on. That's not entirely true. When we were doing paranormal research, we used to go to haunted sites. Numerous times when we were leaving these haunted sites, there'd be these black SUVs, black tinted windows. Now, here's a freaky one for people that are into, like, white noise. All right? One time we're at the Paletta Mansion in Burlington, and we were doing we were doing recordings with white noise. We heard, as clear as day, it seemed like somebody was flying in a craft, and we got the message, I think they can hear us. I think they can hear us. And when I heard that recording, as clear as day on white noise, I looked at my other research and I go, you know what, buddy? I think we got somebody up on top there watching us. And we all agreed, right? It was, we got it, right? We got it. We got it on white noise.
When it comes to extraterrestrials, you mentioned a few stories about the Greys that you've had, and you've had experiences with Pleiadians. When you are seeing these individual entities or multiple entities, is it in human form, dream state? Is it daytime, nighttime? Can you explain?
All of the above. I've had experiences in all the above you mentioned. The Greys, all right, it's like my mood goes to like, how dare you? It's like it's intrusive, right? So right away I get agitated, and I confront them. And when I confront them, it's as soon as they recognize with their telepathy that I'm seeing them, they get startled. It's like I'm not supposed to see them. Mm-hmm. And buddy, hello, I could see you, right? So they get startled for the simple fact that I'm seeing them, right? And then a couple times when I chased after them, they're really freaked, right? Because this doesn't normally happen to them, right? So it's almost as if the Greys are afraid of me, right? Now, having said that, I haven't had a Grey sighting in a long time, right? I think 2012-ish, 2011 was the last time, right? And to tell you the truth, I could care less about them, right? Now, if you take it with the Pleiadian experience we had at the Badlands with Rick Klassen, wow, all right? It was like the complete opposite. It was like love. It was like their eyes were, first off, their eyes were beautiful. You could spot their eyes away from like 100 feet away with a bright blue, right? And they just felt great. They looked like nice people, right? And then your thoughts that you're thinking, they're picking up on it, and they actually confront you. Oh, hi, how are you? Oh, blah blah blah, right? And they can. Well, they're all telepathic, but the Pleiadian settings were fantastic. They put you in a mood that was so beautiful. It was like bliss, right? And I love them, right? I love them. They're the beings I love to have contact with. And it was the one time. It was a chance meeting. Again, we were driving to see if we can have a sighting. More or less, we're looking for a UFO sighting, and we got an ET sighting, okay? And then they were talking about UFOs. It's like they went in our minds and pulled out the information. And they said, you run a UFO group, right? I said, yeah. I said, how do you know? Oh, you look like the type, right? And it's like, come on. That's not just, I don't look like the type. You have telepathy. You pulled that out of my brain, right? So it was total bliss. And even we were freaked out. We were back in the car talking, and we're saying, "Are we seeing graves?" Or we say, "I think so. I think so." So I said to my buddy, I said, "Okay, go get your camera, go and sneak a couple pictures and try to get their face." So as he goes out there, it's like they heard us in the car with their telepathy, and they're posing for us, right? So he took a couple pictures and comes running back, right? And as he's discussing with me, they come up right to the side of my car window and start talking to me, right? It's like, wow, right? Plus, they're very physical people, right? They can jump and run really quick and show up really quick. So, I mean, we didn't even see them pull up to the car. Like, it was just about 30 seconds later, the guy took a picture, he was in the car, and 30 seconds later, they were at the car, right? And then they left, right? It was beautiful, buddy. I'd like to have more.
James, would the normal everyday person who hasn't had an experience know if they had a humanoid ET standing right beside them, whether it was a Pleiadian or an Arcturian or a Nordic or somebody along those lines?
Go with your gut feeling, your intuition. If your intuition tells you it is, then it is. Go with that. That's the best way you can tell. And if you believe it's good, smile. Just be friendly. Just start up a conversation. Right? Go for it. Why not? They're here to help. The good ones, anyway.
Your experience with chasing away the Greys is very similar to something that I had happen to me about, I'm going to say, May, June of last year, where I was almost in a dead sleep, and all of a sudden I got those goosebumps that there was something in my house. And I knew exactly what it was. And I remember going to my bedroom door with a baseball bat in my hand, because I always carry a baseball bat with me in my room. Well, it's only because...
A slugger?
Yeah, actually it is. It's a TPS. But
there you go.
I keep it in my room because I have daughters. Okay? And you never know when you got to chase a boy, scare a boy, you know what I'm saying, threaten a young lad's life. You just have to do that every now and again as a father when you have daughters.
Oh, for sure.
And so immediately I knew where this guy was, down the hallway in my kitchen / television area. And I knew where he was standing, which was right behind my recliner. And what confirmed it for me was across the hall from our master bedroom was the laundry room, and that's where my dog slept. He came out of the laundry room with his head, poked his head, and the first thing he did was he looked down the hall. That confirmed it for me that guy was there. And I'll tell you, I've had ET experiences, you know that. But this one, it almost reminded me of when I played hockey back in the day and it was time to drop the gloves and fight. That's what it felt like, this adrenaline rush. And immediately I had that telepathic message that you had that basically said, this guy's saying, oh crap, he knows I'm here, get me out of here, get me out of here. And there was only one of them in there, and I heard this in my head. Swear on my children's lives and on a Bible, whatever you want to believe in. I heard this in my head. And I was saying to this guy telepathically, let's do this. Come on over here.
Okay.
Let's do this. I told him exactly what I was going to do to him, and he was like, get me out of here. He's awake. He knows I'm here. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. And my dog is still standing there looking down the hallway. He's not growling. He's not, starting his bark. Nothing. And I'll tell you, I did not get to bed for another 2.5 hours after that one. But the minute he left,
I believe it,
because all of a sudden he was gone, it was amazing the energy change in my house at that time. I'm still blown away by that.
Oh, yeah. No, I felt the energy change. And then I know about the adrenaline rush, right? It's crazy. It's wicked. And yes, they have telepathy, right? And then again, there you go. Why were they in the house? It's intrusive for them being in the house. They didn't have permission to be in your house, right? The good ETs, you meet them halfway, right?
Well, you know what? I think if you allow them, and I'm going to ask Audrey this question in the next half hour, but I think if you allow them, because there's a lot of people out there who say with certain species of extraterrestrials, you sign a contract with them and come to an agreement with them before you come back to Earth as a newborn. And I think there may be something to that. What do you think? I'm waiting for you, James. Did we lose you on Skype here? We lost James on Skype. You know what? What we're going to do here is we're going to hop out. We are going to take... Oh, there's James calling right back in here. Hold on one second. We lost you there for a quick second, James.
Yeah, I'm back now. Yeah, that was strange. I was talking on the CHIVEs and click, my line busted out.
Weird. What I was saying, I don't know if you heard me right before the break, and we only have about 30, 40 seconds left, is do you believe then that there, for, say, the good extraterrestrials, that there is a contract that is signed before you come back to Earth as a newborn and reincarnate or incarnate, that you have an agreement with them that you're able to hang out with them, be taken by them, whatever you want to call it?
That maybe I did, yeah.
Do you think people in general have that?
Yeah, probably a lot more than you think. And it's funny because people probably don't even know they had that contract, right? But I think it was, yes, I think that's the case.
All right. Well, let's hop out here for a break at the bottom of the hour. We're going to come back with more of James Borg from UFOria Chronicles. We're going to see if Audrey is going to join us, so that way we can talk more about extraterrestrials and learn about what they are doing here, learn about their tie-in to the government, and learn a hell of a lot more. We got 1 hour, 30 minutes to go on this show. You're listening to Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott. We'll be right back.
Right on.
Have you ever had an extraterrestrial experience? One you just couldn't explain? Well, maybe I can help. Hello, I am Samantha Mullet. On the second Tuesday of each month, I will join Dave Scott on Spaced Out Radio to bring a human aspect to ET contact. It's something I've lived with my entire life, and I'd love to help you understand. Let's share our experiences. The ET Experience, the second Tuesday of each month, only on Spaced Out Radio.
Fairies, Bigfoot, dogmen, trolls, goblins? Hey, if it's cryptid in any way, I'm looking into it. Hi there, this is author Ronald Murphy, also known as Spaced Out Radio's Crypto Guru. Join me every second Wednesday of the month on Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott, where we will talk about the stories people call tall tales. I will fill you in on the latest sightings and the hidden histories that are causing quite a stir. You can find everything at spacedoutradio.com.
Hi there, this is Jolene with Rivulet Reiki and Readings, and I want you to relax. Let me help you chill out and get in touch with your body, mind, and soul. In this busy world, sometimes we need to let go, and this is where I can help. Visit my website, rivuletrndr.wix.com/rivuletrndr, or my Facebook page, Rivulet R&R, to set up an appointment for relaxation, Reiki, or readings, no matter where you are. It's time for you to make time for you.
Would you like to expand your clientele? Have you ever thought of online radio advertising? Check out spacedoutradio.com to get your name out there. Our listeners support those who advertise with us, so why not give it a try? We have the most competitive advertising prices out there. Just click on the advertising tab on spacedoutradio.com and contact us today.
Are you an ET experiencer, but you just don't know what's going on? Are you too timid or shy to discuss it with anyone? Maybe I can help. Join me, R. Keith Andrews, the first Friday of every month on Spaced Out Radio, and I will help you to find the answers you're looking for. Together, I will help you understand the off-worlders and the true meanings behind your experiences. All you have to do is join us in the Spaced Out Radio chat room. See you there.
Every Saturday and Sunday night, as Dave Scott wanders aimlessly in the wilderness, you can come hang out with me, James Tyson, in Spaced Out Weekend. Starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, I'll take you along as we talk with some of the best experts in their fields. SpacedOutRadio.com is the place to find us. So sit down, relax, put your feet up. Enjoy the topics like the paranormal, supernatural, intuitiveness, and so much more. Hope to see you there.
Hi there, this is your psychic medium, Joanna, and I would love it if you would join us every other Sunday on Spaced Out Weekend. With host James Tyson, we'll bring you personal psychic messages on two mediums and a large. Questions about love, life, career changes. We would love it if you would come and join us live. Call in and listen in for the experience. Allow us to open the doors to your other side. Two mediums and a large, heard only on Spaced Out Weekend at spacedoutradio.com.
Would you like to become one of our space travelers? All you have to do is click on the Space Travelers icon at spacedoutradio.com. For only $5 a month, you can get access to some great prizes, as well as private monthly shows, newsletters, and a members-only section on our website. Become a space traveler today.
Do you have a topic or a guest that you'd like to hear on Spaced Out Radio? Let us know at spacedoutradio.com, where you can sign up to become a Space Traveler member today. Or you can find us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on our Facebook page, Spaced Out Radio Show.
I don't want to take a thing from you. I just want to feel like something real with you. I just want to fly high.
Welcome back to Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for listening in. If you're in Paranormal Forum, SHR Media Network, the Spaced Out Radio chat room on Spreaker, UFOria Chronicles, or the SOR Space Travelers on Facebook, thank you so much for being with us. Love having you around. Tomorrow night, we're sticking with the ETs, as Samantha Mowat will join us, the ET Experience, right here on Spaced Out Radio. It's our new monthly forum. Samantha is an incredible person. We had her on a couple of months ago. I had some technical difficulties with the computer, and we're going to redo that interview because I want all of you to know about one of the people whom I've had an experience with. I saw my first extraterrestrial with her in April of 2014, so I think it's important for all of you to listen in, so that way you learn a little bit more about me and just don't hear it from my mouth all the time. Remember, if you want to follow us on social media, you can do so at Spaced Out Radio. Give our Facebook page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. On Instagram, I can be followed at Dave Scott, SOR. Our YouTube channel is Spaced Out Radio Show. Subscribe to that for our archives. And, of course, our website is spacedoutradio.com. We bring in James Borg from UFOria Chronicles. Once again, James, thank you for being with us.
Hey, my pleasure, buddy.
The one thing that I really enjoy about you, James, is you're a real guy with some extraordinary experiences that have happened over the last 10, 20 years for you. Have the experiences ever slowed down, or do they just continually happen?
No, they continually happen. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you, Dave. I see UFOs a lot. And now it's like, I don't even want to take their pictures sometimes. Like, I mean, I'd rather have somebody else take their picture and, and just get the picture, right? But I see them quite frequently, a lot of times, like maybe 3-4 times a week, right? But I'm not the guy that's going to be, unless it's a disc and it's daytime and it's a real good shot, then I'll pull up the camera and take a shot. But I mean, if it's nighttime and stuff like that, I might. It's about a 50-50 chance I'll pull up the camera and take a shot, right? Other times I just point it out for others to see, right? Which is a joy for me. Like for somebody else who hasn't seen a UFO sighting, that's the first one, right? I get up on that. It's like, great, right? So I'd rather have somebody else take the pictures now and be the witness with them.
Gail has a very interesting question in the SOR Space Travelers room for you, James. It seems there are plenty of willing recruits out there. Why can't extraterrestrials meet up with those people and leave the unwilling alone?
Well, I think that's sort of happening, right? If the unwilling, let's be realistic, the unwilling of the Earth, we're probably talking 99.7%. So So 99.7% of the world is of that category. And you got 0.3% that are of the other category. And a lot of times the 0.3% of the air category, out of that, maybe 2% are the ones actually reporting UFO sightings or actual ET sightings. And the rest of the time, people are just saying, okay, well, what's the point of reporting it now? Like, I mean, it was a one-time thing and everything else, and it's like, okay, now if I report it, I'm going to get more heat. I'm going to get more cars in front of the house. I'm going to get more tampering. I'm going to get the blown-out computers, right? So there's some people that just don't want the attention, and I don't blame them for that, right? And as long as they do good deeds on the earth, I think that's what counts, right? So anyway, that's my opinion there.
Here's my theory, and I'm curious on what you think about this, okay? Watching my audience in the chat rooms, because I monitor the chat rooms of what is going on, because that's where I get the questions from. And our audience is a very, very intelligent audience. But one thing, they are. But one thing, James, that I've noticed is my American listeners, they are absolutely almost petrified of extraterrestrial contact, abduction, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Now, my Canadian listeners seem a lot more relaxed about it. They seem a lot more open to it, of it being a positive experience. Now, from what I have learned from doing this show, is it seems like a lot more American people are having a negative ET experience comparatively to what is happening here in Canada. And that goes to my theory, it all goes back to the deal that Eisenhower cut in California with the extraterrestrials in the mid-1950s, which was humans for technology. Canada didn't make a deal because we're an import country when it comes to technology. We don't export technology. We're a resource-based country. Do you believe that that theory has the plausibility of becoming true, or do you think there's more to it than something that simple?
Yes and yes. I think you hit the nail right on the nail's head right there with your analogy there, right? Yes, Canada never made the deal, right? So I think we got a different type of a higher dimensional, higher vibrational field up here, right? We're more prone to the good guys and gals rather than the nefarious ones, right? And also in the States too, they got a lot of military presence, man. Like, I mean, you go report a UFO sighting, the next day you got fucking, excuse my language, you got Black Hawk helicopters, you got a whole bunch of jets flying over there, you got tanks probably coming down the street. Like, I mean, holy shit, man. You kind of wonder if you're in Omaha or Vietnam, you know what I mean? So, I mean, there you go, you know what I mean?
Do you feel confident, though, in saying that because we didn't cut a deal that we're a little bit safer to the extraterrestrial contact here?
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Yep, I agree with you, buddy.
But what about when it comes to something like Men in Black experiences? Because there's the famous Men in Black video of them walking into a Niagara Falls, Canada hotel room looking for someone, or hotel lobby.
Yeah, they're going to send them out, whatever. They're out there and stuff like that. And yeah, it's happened. It's happened to a close friend of mine, right? And we actually had to, when we had Utopia before UFOria, that's exactly what happened. And my partner said to me, look, I want out. Let's stop the group. I can't take it. I want to lead a normal life. And I said to him, okay, no problem. I said, I still want to do it, though. And he said to me, okay, you do it. He goes, so don't use the name Utopia. And then Crystal Blake, we were talking, she's a member of UFOria Chronicles, I needed a name change. I said, look, give me a month so I can get a name change. And he goes, okay, I'll give you a month. And she came up with UFOria, right? UFORIA, right? And even the name Euphoria, right? Like, it's a rush. It's a euphoric feeling. It's like a orgasmic feeling. It's a rush. It's a great feeling. It's a great vibe. It's a euphoric feeling, right? And then it's got UFO in the name, UFO-RIA, Euphoria, right? And I said, okay, that's the name. Crystal, right on. Thank you very much. She actually named Euphoria. And then from Euphoria, we started filming experiencers, and we became a YouTube group called UFOria Chronicles, and then we went one step further, and we have the Facebook group called UFOria Chronicles. And here we are today.
I want to bring Audrey in now. Audrey is someone who you have got to meet over the last while, as in the last couple of years. And James, I would like for you, if you don't mind, to tell us a little bit about Audrey.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable. He's a whiz at many things. He's got a lot of UFO experiences. He's got a lot of stories to tell. Every time he speaks to me, I have my mouth open in awe and like, wow, right? So usually when Audrey speaks, I quiet down and just listen. I'm the student now in the house, right? And it's wonderful. He's a man of amazing mind and viewpoints and experiences. So, the fact that he's on the show, this is phenomenal. And I mean, I'm just going to sit back and, you know what? You should just ask Audrey questions, and I'll just sit back and just listen, because this is amazing.
Well,
this is great.
Feel free to jump in at any time, too, if you have any questions for Audrey, James. Audrey, are you there?
I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on Spaced Out Radio tonight. I know there was a lot of question whether or not you would be able to join us tonight, but one of the things I do want to do is I do want to extend a warm welcome to you in being a part of this show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Audrey, I want to, I know there are certain questions that I cannot ask you because there's just certain things you're not allowed to answer. So if at any point I ask you something that, because I'm going in cold on this, if there's anything that I ask you that is a little bit too personal or a little bit too close for comfort, just feel free to say, I can't answer that. I really don't mind.
Okay, that sounds great.
I want to start off with you, Audrey, in regards to letting people know a little bit about you. You're not from here.
No, I'm not.
Are you able to tell us where you're from?
I probably shouldn't over these lines. But what I will say is that in regards to the contracts you guys were mentioning, yes, these people signed a contract to be here. And a very long time ago, they've been recycling here for a very, very long time. And we're here to try to help these people end that cycle of recycling.
Is this your first time on Earth?
No. We've been here many, many, many times in the past. We've been trying in many different ways to get these people to wake up, to get these people to understand the truth about themselves and where they come from and what they're here to do. Unfortunately, there are certain powers that be here that have made sure that the teachings that we've left behind for these people were very twisted, corrupted, and a lot of things omitted, truths destroyed, and other things added that shouldn't be there. Entire contexts taken out of context. So, unfortunately, these people have never received the full truth. They've only ever gotten half-truths, disinformation. Even searching on the Internet, these people will never find the full truth about a whole lot of anything. They'll find bits and pieces here and there, but to get the full truth, you need to hear it from the source.
Audrey, what was your mission in this incarnation?
Simply to wake these people up, to teach them to raise their vibrations, to heal, teach them about their own physiology. The things that they can do are very powerful. These people have no idea the things that their bodies can do. They can truly heal any disease, any ailment, any damage. Even age itself can be healed simply through meditation, raising their vibrations, recharging those mitochondria within their cells. These people have no idea the power that's within them, and they've never been taught. In fact, 99% of these people hearing these things will disregard what I'm saying, and I fully expect it. It is entirely possible for somebody to go from an old age to a young age within just a couple of years. And I've demonstrated that myself by undoing age damage accrued over a very long period of time within just 2 years' time. I was looking very old at one point just 3 years ago, and I undid all of my damage within just 2 years, proving to these people that it is possible for them, even in this society, under the conditions that they live within, under all of the toxins sprayed above them, the poisons in their water, their food, their air, that they can, with just vibration alone, heal their damage. They don't need the pharmaceutical industry. They don't need chemicals. They don't need these poisons that the doctors force feed these people under the pretenses that this stuff is going to repair their damage, when in fact those chemicals only further harm them from the inside out, damage their organs and cause them to age more rapidly, cause even more diseases, ailments, and even more side effects. And these side effects in these medications are engineered into these pills that they take. They are physically engineered into them to cause these people more damage. These people do not understand that the number one cause of aging is low vibration. This entire society was engineered to keep their vibrations low. Everything these people do, from slaving away at work to dealing with drama, hatred, anger, sadness, all of these things that these people deal with, physically depress their cells, physically lower their vibrations. These things cause their cells to stop producing youthful levels of AHA, vitamins, collagen, and proteins. All of these elements that their bodies need, save for the vitamin D, which they acquire through the sun itself. Their body should be able to metabolize vitamins at youthful levels, but it cannot do that when your cells are depressed. What happens when you try to use a remote control with low batteries from a long distance from your TV? It's not going to work so well now, is it?
No.
So these mitochondria within the cells act as batteries within their cells, and raising their vibrations, these people increase the amount of energy within the quarks, within their atoms, inside of their nuclei of the atoms that comprise every single human being on this planet, everything that exists. You have quarks, and within these quarks you have photoradionic waves. And these photoradionic waves, when you increase your vibration, increase both in vibratory power and frequency, and thus increase the amount of energy within those atoms. The mitochondria within their cells use this energy to fuel their cells, and thus allow these cells to produce the youthful elements that their bodies need for the cells to replicate at youthful levels. It is possible for these people to undo their own damage if they know how to raise their vibrations from the inside out.
How long have you been on this mission in teaching people, or whoever will listen, in order to heal ourselves?
I would rather not disclose just how long, because these people honestly would not understand if I were to.
Okay, I can respect that.
But I will say for a very, very, very long time. And we've tried in many different ways to teach these people in every way we possibly could imagine. To teach these people the things, the keys to unlocking the power that they hold within themselves. Every single person on the face of this planet is capable of healing themselves.
Do you believe, Audrey, that there are negative extraterrestrials out there that have infiltrated governments to help keep humans from achieving higher vibration?
I believe that there are many different types. You have the Anunnaki, the Alpha Draconians, and the Zetas, just to name a few.
Is that something that people should be concerned about?
Absolutely. These beings, and it's really just a handful of them, known as the Cabal, on this planet have been ruling these people for eons and eons, enslaving them in many different ways, changing their society in many different ways, causing resets when these people get too smart. And when they feel that these people are overreaching their bounds, they're growing too intelligent and they're starting to figure things out, the Cabal decide that they are going to reset these people. And I find that to be very unfair to these people. They have every right to live just as much as these beings do.
That's right.
Audrey, in your current incarnation, did you come in as a newborn child, or did you come in as someone at a specific age?
I cannot answer that over these lines.
Did you want to pursue what humans were feeling? Is that part of your mission?
I was here to, in just the last several decades, just to understand these people's problems in this current society from the ground up. I needed to understand their English language. I needed to understand what these people go through, what they feel, how they slave away. I needed to understand their society to better understand the current state of the problem and how close these people are to a reset and what we can do about it.
Did that include military service?
Yes.
So you're a veteran as well?
Yes. I experienced many different things in this society to better understand everything from every angle. I needed to understand all of the variables in this society. Learning your language took me an extensive amount of time to understand all of your mannerisms, the many different ways that you all speak, your many different dialects of English. And I don't just speak English. I speak Spanish too. Esto habla español muy bien. I speak Hebrew, Ani Medina, Evrit. I speak many different languages. You know, I've learned through a very long period of time to understand these people from many different angles. To find a way to teach these people in a way that they would understand, in a way that we could not be misunderstood. It took a very long time and a lot of work and a lot of suffering, a suffering that I rejoice in.
Are people, Audrey, starting to pick up the fact that it is time to start looking within ourselves to help heal each other and ourselves as one? Or is the Cabal just too big of a threat right now to allow that to happen?
We have a very small percentage of people on this planet that are waking up, that are seeking answers, a lot of them finding enough of the right answers to get the bigger picture. Most of these people on the planet are so blind that even hearing me talk about these things are shaking their heads because the Cabal has trained these people through their education to completely disregard anything that goes outside of the bounds of what they understand. That includes religion, that includes their educational system, their politics, their governments. Everything that these people understand, the 99%, is completely backwards from the truth, and that is fact.
Are people starting to listen to you, or is your job to inform people?
I generally teach these people behind the scenes. Being on the radio tonight is the first time that I've stepped out into the spotlight to really talk to these people and hope that these people listen, because they honestly do not have much time. And things will very soon get very chaotic for these people. So they either need to wake up now, or they will not wake up in this cycle. In fact, 99% of these people may recycle again because of their ill programming, and that's what it comes down to. There are those people that are awake enough and open enough for us to teach without absolute rejection to what we are trying to share to them. There are other people that will outright reject everything we say. And that in itself means that these people just aren't ready in this cycle to save themselves. They're not ready to be free from this prison. This whole planet has become a prison, and it wasn't always that way. But you have these beings that have been driving the slavery of this planet for millions of years. And these people have no idea, they have no recollection, they don't even know what they don't know. These people do not have any memory of who they were or what they were here to do. And that is in part due to the cabal and their agenda.
Is it up to the individual in order to try and figure out this for themselves? Because at this point, you know, not to be rude or anything, but it does sound vague because people are so lost in today's society.
Are you asking me, Dave, how these people are lost?
Yeah, like, for instance, take me, for instance. I don't feel any closer to extending my life or extending my my own inner being, because probably I'm so blind as to what is going on with society, with needing a job, with having to make money, with having to support my family, with having to mow my lawn, everything that distracts me from trying to find that higher spiritual level.
You want to know where to begin.
Yes.
What I want you to try to do, and I'm speaking not just for you, but for anyone that's listening, sit down and attempt to meditate on a star growing at your center near your heart chakra. I want you to imagine a star growing as big as you want it to grow. It doesn't matter what the color of that star is, or even if it is a star in this galaxy that you are focusing on. A star growing at your center. What this does is it physically tells your system to increase the amount of energy within your mitochondria, and that causes, in effect, your quarks within your atoms to increase in vibrational frequency, which recharges those cells. You do this long enough, and you will see results. You will begin to heal. You should start noticing physical changes in your appearance. Your wrinkles will begin to slowly vanish. Your skin will start to fill in. Hanging skin will start to retract back to its elastic form. A lot of things begin to happen, including your melanocytes, which they give color to your hair. This will allow your hair to regrow its color. If you have a gray head, your hair color will begin to return after about a year to 2 years. It takes a full year for your hair to go through a full cycle. DHT in your system is caused by an enzyme called 5-AR, and this applies to both women and men. It is an enzyme that converts testosterone into DHT, which acts as hydrochloric acid on your hair follicles and causes your hair to fall out. All of these elements cause you to age when you are deficient in certain things. When your vibration is low, when those mitochondria within your cells are not charged, you're not producing enough HA, vitamins, collagen, and protein. Let me explain what this does to your body. HA is responsible for 100% of all the collagen production in your body. Your eyes, for instance, are made of 90% collagen. The vitreous humor within your eyes is actually created directly from hyaluronic acid. Without these things, your eyes will begin to degrade. Without hyaluronic acid producing collagen, because collagen is a direct result of hyaluronic acid, the vitreous humor within your eyeballs will not recycle. You'll begin to develop particulates in your eyes. You'll also develop cataracts. After a very long period of time, the pressure in your eyes begins to lessen. Your eyes begin to become oblong. Your vision changes. And this is just one example of how not raising your vibration over a long period of time will affect one part of your body. Imagine what this does to the rest of your body. Your entire body is made of 90% collagen. You have the other 10%, which is fluids. Hyaluronic acid produces the fluids within your spinal column, also produces the fluids between your joints. The vitamins and proteins that your cells produce, in addition to hyaluronic acid and collagen, are responsible for cartilage production as well. You can reverse osteoporosis as well by simply raising your vibration, those holes in your bones. You can regenerate your cartilage. The fluid between your joints generated by hyaluronic acid will provide a cushion. This also applies to the cushions between each of the vertebrae in your spine. Vibration is responsible for every single thing that happens in your body because it is your power source. It is the energy that your body survives off of.
Gentlemen, I'm going to get you guys to hold on here. We're going to hop out for a break. Right here at the top of the hour, we are talking with Audrey and James Borg from UFOria Chronicles. We're going to get some real cool information coming up this next hour, as long as Audrey can stay with us. You're listening to Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott. We'll be right back.
Become more intimate and interactive with Spaced Out Travelers Club with your new membership. For $5 a month, we'll provide you with special access to the website, monthly prize draws from books to psychic readings, along with monthly newsletter, private interviews, and more. Sign up today to be part of Spaced Out Radio's experience.
Every month on Spaced Out Radio, we look into the deep and dark reports of cryptids roaming around the world with me, Rob Morphy from Cryptopia.us. I would love it if you would join me and host Dave Scott as we delve into the most arcane stories and reports regarding creatures of the unknown. My job is to hunt down the details and bring the evidence forward to you. These aren't your regular Bigfoot stories I'm talking about either. You can find out more about crypto history at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Strange creatures lurking in the night, the sounds of wood knocking in the forest, odd happenings right out of a fictional world. These are the reports I love. Hi there, this is author Ronald Murphy, and I would love it if you join me and Spaced Out Radio host Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month on our journey into the unknown land of cryptozoology at spacedoutradio.com. From Mothman to Frogman and everything in between. Hey, they don't call me the crypto guru for nothing.
Is the 24-hour world starting to wear you down? Let me from Rivulet Reiki and Ratings lend you a hand. Hi, this is Jolene, and if you're in need of Reiki or a room reading, come to my website, rivuletrr.wix.com/rivuletrr&r, and let us help you out. At Rivulet, I specialize in healing your body, mind, and soul, no matter where you are. And be sure to check out the Rivulet R&R Facebook page for your best deals. Remember, it's time for you to make some time for you.
Find yourself constantly looking up in the sky, looking for answers? Have you had extraterrestrial contact? Are you an abductee? Looking for answers to your experiences? Hi there, I'm R. Keith Andrews, Spaced Out Radio's resident ET expert. Join me live the first Friday of every month where I take questions from the Spaced Out Radio chat room and help you understand those from the far-off world. It's 2 hours of knowledge every experiencer should listen to. Hope to see you there.
Did you know that Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi, it's James Tyson from Spaced Out Weekend. Every Saturday and Sunday night, starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, you can join me and my guests for some great chatter about what's going on out in the universe, or even in that dark part of the basement you really don't want to go back into. Well, let's find the answers to your experiences together. So come on up to Uncle Jimbo's cabin on the weekend. For more information, look us up at spacedoutradio.com.
Would you like to connect with us on Spaced Out Radio? Head to spacedoutradio.com to check out the latest shows, guests, and sponsors. And don't forget to sign up for the Space Travelers Club. You'll find all you need at spacedoutradio.com. Welcome back to Space Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much if you're joining us on the SHR Media Network. Our Space Travelers, SOR Space Travelers on Facebook, UFOria Chronicles, Paranormal Forum, or the SOR chat room on Spreaker. Thank you so much for being with us. Tomorrow night, we're going to stick with the ET contact as Samantha Mowat will join us. A new monthly feature starting tomorrow night with Samantha Mowat, the ET Connection. It's a good show, and I hope you stick with us for that one. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do so at Spaced Out Radio. Give our Facebook page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. On Instagram, I can be followed at Dave Scott, SOR. Our YouTube channel, where we hide our archives, you can subscribe to it, Spaced Out Radio Show. And, of course, our website is spacedoutradio.com. Tonight, we are talking with James Borg from UFOria Chronicles. We've been joined by an off-worlder named Audrey. And that's the name we're going by. I cannot tell you certain things about Audrey because that was part of the agreement coming into this. But we're going to try and get as much information as we can in order to figure out that we are not alone. Audrey, James, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
You're most welcome.
Audrey, I want to get into a few questions here, if you don't mind, because us as humans, this is heavy to take. Let's be honest here. And you know that. You've been around here long enough to understand that we don't understand. There's a lot of people out there who get a little bit upset, and I don't really blame them, about this whole ET abduction phenomena that is going on.
Okay.
A lot of ETs are out there, and mainly the Greys, taking people without... Well, let's face it, they're kidnapping them. Why is this going on?
You have a deal between the Alpha Draconians and the Zeta Reticulans here on this planet. The Zetas have been around for many millions and billions of years. They have been cloning themselves so much that their DNA has become unviable. And they are dying as a race. All of them. They are not able to reproduce naturally. They are all sterile at this point because of constant cloning over many, many billions of years. These people have been chosen by these Alpha Draconians to be subjects for these Zetas in return for technology from the Zetas. They have a mutual pact. The Zetas have free reign to pick the purest DNA lines, to choose those people for genetic manipulation. They take their genetics and they try to refine their own genetics. This is their agenda. The Zetas do not care for these people. They have no empathy for these people, no love, no compassion. All they want is DNA. and they see these people as fresh cattle. These people have the ability to ascend where these Zetas cannot because their DNA is so damaged. I don't know if you hear that, but we have a helicopter buzzing around overhead.
I just heard that.
As I was saying, the Zetas have a deal with the Alpha Draconians here that have enslaved these people with the help of the Anunnaki, whom they created through genetic manipulation as well. They crossed several DNA lines to create the Anunnaki a long time ago. And these Anunnaki have been searching for one thing, and that is gold. And the reason why they want gold is because they reverse engineer gold into monatomic gold. I'm sure you've heard of this. Monatomic gold is capable of increasing their telepathic abilities, also giving them other abilities beyond that allow them to do some pretty gruesome things to these people from afar. The Zetas have been picking these people up against their will to take DNA from them specifically. This is why these people have encountered the Greys so much over the course of history. The Anunnaki and the Alpha Draconians rule from the top as the Cabal. They control the Illuminati, they control the Knights Templar, they control the Jesuits and the Freemasons. They also controlled the Nazis. The Nazis had struck a deal with the Zetas a long time ago also for technology and power. They created the Vril Society. They have been controlling this country to this day. World War II has never ended. It only went quiet behind the scenes. You have now a long lineage of people that are ruling this country under the control of two particular groups that are named within the Cabal. You have the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers sitting at the top that have been controlling the world for a very, very long time. And they've become very efficient at it. Hitler himself is a Rothschild 2 times removed. And so his father was actually an illegitimate child, an illegitimate birth of the Rothschilds. He was born as a Hitler, but his father was a Rothschild. So Hitler himself is a Rothschild. You have also currently running for president Trump and Hillary. Both of them are Rothschilds, very distantly related as well. You have the Bushes, who served under Hitler back in the days of Nikola Tesla before his death on January 6 of 1943. You have the Sheriff family, who became the Bushes and ran this country. You had many generations of Rothschilds and Bushes, the sheriffs, who worked under Hitler, all of them controlled by the Rothschild family and the Rockefellers. So, Mein Kampf, Hitler had written Mein Kampf. Within Mein Kampf, stated a plan to take over the United States that has been in full effect for a very long time now, for decades. The Rothschilds have been controlling this country. This country has not been the people's country for a very, very long time. In fact, most of the presidents, going all the way back to the days of Washington, either served under the Rothschilds or were part of the family. The Declaration of Independence, that was a cover, because in the Treaty of Paris, which was signed just a couple weeks after the Declaration of Independence was signed this country back to the United Kingdom, you have 3 city-states on this planet that are all ruled by the Cabal. You have Washington, D.C., London, and the Vatican. the Vatican is ruled by the Illuminati, who are controlled by the cabal. The Vatican owns London, and London owns Washington, D.C., thus all are owned by the cabal. So all of this ties together. Everything that is happening now has to do with their agenda. The Greys are just a side party to this agenda.
Audrey, I understand with what you're saying, but for people out there who are not understanding, what credentials can you tell us, if anything, that people out there listening to this show right now should believe you? Why should they believe you?
I don't expect them to, because if they don't, they're not ready to hear this information. I'm not here to convince the 99%. I'm here for the people that are ready to hear this information now, that do understand. So regardless of what the other 99% believes, their comments, their criticisms, I'm not here to defend myself on that topic. I'm here to share the information as it is.
Now, you being of not one of the races that you have mentioned so far, are there other races out there that truly give a care about mankind, humanity, seeing us prosper, seeing us grow? Because right now, for a lot of people, the idea of extraterrestrials is a very negative question. It's a very negative connotation. And yet there are people out there, including myself, who have had positive experience.
There are those of us from the Pleiades. You have the Arans, the Lyrans, the Orcans, and the Romulans. There are 4 planets within the Pleiades that we all come from, but there are several different races from around this galaxy that have been trying to help these people for a very long time. There are 2 divisions of people that have tried to help these people. One of them is the Arcturians. You have also the Andromedans, and then you have us. There was, at one point in history, a very long time ago, over 240,000 years ago, we had what these people call an alliance. They call this particular sect the Guardian Alliance, with the Emerald Covenant and the Emerald Contract. You had several races on that seat. We actually, at that time, had a group of Anunnaki that were actually good for a while. That group of Anunnaki had branched out away from the Anunnaki that were trying to cause wars to attempt to help these people at one point. But the problem with them was that there was a very large disagreement, and 3 races broke off of that council, which is now only ruled by Anunnaki at this point. They refused to help these people in their time of need. They agreed that these people should be helped, but they refused to come and help them. We decided that we wanted to help them, but under the Emerald Contract, we could not do so, so we broke the Emerald Contract. We broke away. The Arcturians, the Andromedans, and what you call the Pleiadians, which is not entirely correct. Calling us Pleiadian is like calling all of the races of these people on the planet human, but not physically identifying each race of people here. The Pleiadians, if you want to classify us as that, and the Arcturians and the Andromedans broke away to form our own council. And these people know us as the Galactic Federation. That's what they call us. It's the Federation in that context is not a bad thing. It's been a word that has been very damaged over the course of history here on this planet. These people have used that word to identify let's say, the Federal Reserve, you have the Feds, you have a lot of groups of people that have used that name under bad pretenses to do very bad things to these people. That name wasn't always a bad thing, but regardless, our council, we decided that we were going to help these people. We were deemed as invaders by the Galactic Alliance, if the people want to call it that. They deemed us as invaders, as traitors, because we broke away to do the right thing, to help these people. And we've been trying to help these people ever since, trying to teach these people things that will benefit them, trying to teach these people ways to free themselves from this slave system, to allow these people to ascend. And let me explain what ascension is. When you raise your vibrations enough, your physical frequency rises up much higher. We resonate lower than the Schumann resonance here, the Schumann frequency. And when you exceed that frequency physically, you become photoradionic. Your cells vibrate so high that you physically glow. And you will physically leave this plane in your entirety. You don't leave without your body, you leave with it. Your body is a vehicle that will carry you out of this place if you ascend. And the way you do that is by raising your vibration. Now, you cannot sail a boat with your anchor down, nor can you fly a hot air balloon with your weights attached. In order to ascend, you have to let go of all of the bad things that you hold resentment over in your life. You need to learn to forgive people, even if they don't deserve to be forgiven in your mind. You need to let it go.
I understand that. I very much understand that. You know, I think... Go ahead, please.
I was going to say, you need to let go of pain, anger, sadness, anguish, misery, jealousy, ego. You need to release these things. You cannot sail a boat with your anchor down. You have to cut those chains. Then you can begin to ascend. Then you can begin to heal. When you meditate on a star growing at your center and you've released these things, you will physically begin to grow younger. It is possible, as they say, you know, you can't go back once you've gone down the other side of the hill. That is not true. You can reverse your age. You can undo that damage, because age damage is just damage like anything else. It's damage like a cut or a bruise. Everything heals. Age damage is just damage accrued over a very long period of time. That's all it is. It's one of the easiest things to reverse. Anybody, any age in this society can undo their damage. The more damage you have, the longer it will take. But it will not take years and years and years to undo decades worth of damage. It could be undone within a couple of years. It's a very easy thing to fix, but the problem is low vibration, which is something engineered into this society. It is the way these people are taught. It is the things that they do. It is how they react to other people, how they interact with other people. They're taught that being angry is okay. They're taught that being sad is okay, albeit those things are okay to feel. It's counterproductive if you're trying to ascend, because now you're adding anchors on. You're adding weights to your balloon. You're not going to sail. You're not going to fly.
I want to ask you... Sorry, I would like to ask you a question, if you don't mind. Do extraterrestrial species have souls?
Yes. All of them are light beings. Some have a different agenda than others. Some were engineered with different predispositions. Some were engineered to be more angry than others, more violent, more brute. Others were more gentle and kind and loving. You know, we have many different groups, many different races, more than even we can begin to count throughout this universe, that are all over the spectrum. But we're here, we are here simply to try to help these people to not only heal, but to give them the keys, show them the door that has green pastures on the other side, and tell them if they use this key to unlock that door and walk through it, they will find peace and prosperity and eternal life. These people can ascend out of this prison. This is their vehicle. Their bodies are their vehicle. What we're teaching is how to use it. It is your driver's manual for your vehicle. And these people have been missing that driver's manual all their lives and all of their cycles.
But that also comes along with fear from the bad experiences people are having. Okay, whether it's in their daily lives, whether it's being taken without their knowledge, which equates to kidnapping. People are being raped by extraterrestrials. People are being tortured. Some people never come back. The FBI writes off 5% of all missing people every year, which equates to 65,000 people in the United States alone every year.
And that's a conversation I would love to go into on another show. I can delve into why they're doing all of that. But as far as these people's freedom, the keys to unlock their shackles, the keys to unlock their vehicle so that they can ascend, so they can do what they were engineered to do, we are here to teach them to do just that. We're here to teach these people how to use their vehicles, how to drive them, how to get out of here. It is time. They were here. They signed their contracts to be here for one cycle and then to go home, to ascend out of here. That was their agreement, and they've been here far longer than they were supposed to. Not of their doing. These people are not to blame for that. The people are innocent of everything that they've done. They are innocent of what they've done in their blindness. And we don't hold that against them. We don't hold their atrocities against them that they had done under the teachings of this society. These people are innocent, and they all deserve to go home. And our job is not finished here until all of these people go home.
Gentlemen, I'm going to get you to hold on here for our break at the bottom of the hour. We're going to come back with more from Audrey as well as James Borg from UFOria Chronicles. You're listening to Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott. Talk to you on the other side.
Are you interested in advertising on Spaced Out Radio?
Head to our website at spacedoutradio.com and click on our advertising tab. There you will find an assortment of ways you can get your product out there with us.
From the radio, commercials, to banners, to social media.
Have a product you'd like our host to endorse? We can do that too.
Visit spacedoutradio.com for more details.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. With their money-back guarantee and the many benefits, how can you afford not to get one? Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry.
Right here, this is where we divulge the fruit of our research. Here on the Webster Phenomena every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern on Spaced Out Radio.
Attention Spaced Out Radio listeners. For only $5 a month, you can join Spaced Out Radio Space Travelers. Your membership at spacedoutradio.com will give you access to private fan area on the website, get you a monthly newsletter, draws for monthly swag, and a whole lot more. Sign up today to become a part of the Spaced Out Radio experience.
Strange creatures lurking in the night, the sounds of wood knocking in the forest, odd happenings right out of a fictional world. These are the reports I love. Hi there, this is author Ronald Murphy, and I would love it if you join me and Spaced Out Radio host Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month on our journey into the unknown land of cryptozoology at spacedoutradio.com. From Mothman to Frogman and everything in between. Hey, they don't call me the crypto guru for nothing.
Greetings and salutations, space travelers, from the Chronicles of the Unknown team.
What is Chronicles of the Unknown? I keep hearing about this thing.
It's a new paranormal reality TV show based right here in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. Follow our team as we uncover claims of activity on the Caribou Gold Rush Trail. You can also follow us here every third Monday, where two members of our team will be available to answer your questions. We'll give you some equipment updates and some of our experiences on the road, right here on Spaced Out Radio.
The last Monday of the month on Spaced Out Radio is a night of psychic vision, mediumship, UFO and ET contact, Bigfoot stories, animal communication, and so much more with me, Elizabeth Anglin. I'd love it if you would join host Dave Scott and I on the myriad of topics we delve into. Every month, we share new views that may help you understand your own experiences. So tune on in at spacedoutradio.com and stamp your cosmic passport.
Did you know that Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi, it's James Tyson from Spaced Out Weekend. Every Saturday and Sunday night, starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, you can join me and my guests for some great chatter about what's going on out in the universe, or even in that dark part of the basement you really don't want to go back into. Well, let's find the answers to your experiences together. So come on up to Uncle Jimbo's cabin on the weekend. For more information, look us up at spacedoutradio.com.
Missed most of tonight's show? Don't worry, you didn't miss a thing. You can head to our website, spacedoutradio.com, and download our archives for free. And don't forget to get your Space Travelers membership today. Now, back to tonight's show. Welcome back to Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for being with us. As we've rounded third, we're heading for home tonight on the mighty Spaced Out Radio. If you're listening in on the SHR Media Network, thank you so much. If you're in the Spaced Out Radio chat room on Spreaker, on Paranormal Forum, or on two of our favorite Facebook pages, SOR Space Travelers, as well as UFOria Chronicles. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We were talking with James Borg from UFOria Chronicles and Audrey, who is a visitor from another world. It's an interesting topic indeed. And we're going to bring them back here momentarily. Before I do, I want to remind you, you can follow us on social media. On Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show. Give our page a like. On Twitter, at Spaced Out Radio. On Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show. Or make that Dave Scott, SOR. On YouTube, we are Spaced Out Radio Show. Subscribe to our channel, and our website is spacedoutradio.com. We bring in James and Audrey tonight. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us.
You're welcome.
All right.
You're most welcome.
I want to focus here, and Audrey, I don't want you to be insulted by this line of questioning, and if there's things you can't answer, please just say I can't answer it. But for a lot of people, I know you have a strong message that you need to bring out about helping people bring up their vibrations. I know the message that you are trying to get across, and I think it's a positive one. It's something I struggle with on a daily basis, especially when you throw in the fact that I suffer from depression and anxiety, which is a daily fight for not only me, but literally millions of people across North America. But in order for you to gain credibility with the audience, I would like to ask a few questions specifically about you. And if you guys want, when our next half hour is up and if you feel you still want to go, we can go into overtime. I will allow that to happen, not a problem. But Audrey, one of the things, a few questions that I do have for you specifically, how many of your species of people or off-worlders are there here on the planet trying to help humanity?
We have 3 groups here trying to help these people. We have the Andromedans, and we only have a few of those here on this planet as we speak. We have some Arcturians, and we have myself and just a few others that are from my race. And I would like to kind of go into my planet a little bit and where we come from.
Nice.
Lyra, New Lyra, is orbiting star Atlas within the Pleiades system. And on our planet, we have a level of peace all of the time. We only live within love and happiness, kindness, and generosity. We have a very basic bartering system. We do not have a monetary system like the people do here. We have a very basic bartering system. We trade with others only for things that we need to survive, and then we live within our means. We do not speak at all, at least not verbally. We speak using a level of what you all call intention. We speak with the language telepathically with all of our people. All of us are connected, not just on that planet, but all of us in that system. When we send one thought, everybody hears it there. That's in the same sense, on this planet, everybody is connected whether they know it or not. All of these people, they send thoughts and feelings, emotions, even memories, and ideas across vast distances here on this planet. Many people hear it. They don't acknowledge that it is coming from someone else. When they hear thoughts in their head that normally wouldn't come from them, it isn't from them, it is from others around them. When we telepathically communicate with our people, we send thoughts and feelings, emotions, even memories across vast distances. We can communicate an entire subject within nanoseconds. A very large package of information in one send. And this is how we communicate. We do not have specifically a language. We speak with intention, and it's very difficult to explain on a level these people understand exactly what that is and what it entails, but I will do my best. Intention is the language of the universe. It is binary, essentially. You send actions more than words. You send the action before it actually has been done. For instance, moving your arm, moving your legs, moving your head, and speaking and thinking, these are all intentions. When you move your fingers on your hands, that is an intention being sent through nerves. It's an electrical signal from your brain. The same thing applies to thoughts. Thoughts are electrical signals just as much as those signals passing through your nerves. You have what you call a pineal gland in your head that is your transceiver. It doesn't just send, but it receives, and it doesn't just receive, but it sends. The problem with these people's pineal glands is that they are very damaged and de-evolved over a very long period of time. They're consuming certain chemicals, byproducts of aluminum, which physically damage their pineal glands. It will create a calcified layer around their pineal gland and actually seal it and harden it, kind of like the liver. When you drink too much alcohol over a long period of time, your liver becomes really, really thick, and it becomes unable to process, eventually, the toxins in your blood. It is unable to metabolize those things. It's the same with your pineal gland. When it becomes calcified and poisoned, it's unable to metabolize thoughts and intentions. It doesn't mean that you can't receive, but it makes it very difficult to transmit. It also makes it difficult for these people to register in their heads when a thought has been sent to them. They don't know when a thought is theirs and when it's someone else's. So when we communicate on our planet, we all talk together. All of our thoughts and memories are one. Everyone is one. And although these people here on this planet may feel separated, they are all one. All of these beings are one. Excuse the helicopter. Maybe I should step inside. Once again, we have helicopters flying overhead here.
Well, that's what the program's all about, too. There you go. Case in point.
As I was saying, thoughts and intentions are very powerful. When these people think something and they feel that others around them are starting to get agitated, it's because these thoughts or emotions that these people think transmit like Wi-Fi. Other people receive these things like Wi-Fi routers transmitting information between computers or ad hoc Wi-Fi connections between computers, direct connection. All of these people are connected. Go ahead.
Let me ask you about your planet. It's in the constellation of Lyra, right?
No, it is in the constellation of the Pleiades. We call it Lyra.
Okay.
But it orbits Star Atlas.
Is it much like Earth, where there's water, atmosphere? What do you eat there? How long did it take you to get from your planet to Earth? Can you get into that?
We don't believe in killing things. Let me go on the topic of eating. We don't believe in killing things. We take cells from plants. We take cells from animals and we grow them in a humane way so that we can consume them without harming the animals or the plants. We believe in full equilibrium. We don't believe in killing things. Even killing insects here is very shameful to us. We don't believe in killing anything. It's everything has a consciousness. A rock has a consciousness no more than a tree or no more than a person or an animal. Everything has a consciousness on a very remedial level. We've come to respect the planets. We've come to respect everything within this universe. We have a very high respect for all life, regardless of what the form may be. But when it comes to life causing harm to those that we care about, that is the only time that we choose to step in to help. And these people, whether they know it or not, are related to our group. We have Andromedans, we have Arcturians, and we have Pleiadians that were captured here a very long time ago.
Are there more than one? Are there more than one species of extraterrestrial on your planet?
On our planet, we have a couple of groups that live with us. We have some Andromedans that were welcome to our series of planets that live among our people. We have a couple Arcturians that are ambassadors that live there as well. We have our people primarily. We came from another constellation that you did mention, Constellation Lyra. It's the system Lyra, and that was overrun many millions of years ago by the same beings that are here on this planet now. The ones that control these people, the Cabal. One of their races, the Alpha Draconians, we've dealt with them before. Mm-hmm. This is not the first time that we've had to deal with this problem, but this is a whole different planet and a whole new level of slavery. Back in those days, they were out for resources long before this planet, and they overran our planets. We had two at that time. We had old Lyra, and we had a planet that we called, at that time, Lemuria. At least that's the name closest to it. I know a lot of these people believe that there was a continent on this planet called Lemuria. That was not necessarily true. The name Lemuria actually came from our system.
Wow.
It was a city, but it was never a continent.
How did you get here?
We traveled here I'm not going to give out too much information on that, but what I will say is that we were shot down when we came here, but we knew this would be a one-way trip for a long time. When we came here, this just in your last cycle. We've been here for quite some time. I've been here long enough to understand words like groovy and tubular and rad. You know, I've been here in just this last cycle understanding these English words that people used to identify things that were cool. But we came here with a very difficult entrance. Breaking into a prison is not easy. Neither is getting out of it. But it is possible for all of these people.
Do you not have ships from your planet coming here to visit, much like the UFOs that we see in the sky?
They do, but ours will never land. Not here on these grounds, not unless they are hailed.
What about disclosure? Is that important?
Disclosure is important, but our vehicles that come here, our people in those vehicles do not understand English. They don't understand what these people are going through, nor do they empathize fully in the manner that I do with these people, because they haven't been here on ground for as long as I have.
The first extraterrestrial I saw happened in April of 2014. It was about a 10 to 12 foot being. It was very thin. I did not see arms, legs. It was tan in color, big round head. I have no idea what I saw. I do know that it was a very peaceful, caring breed of extraterrestrial. What was I looking at?
It was a type of Andromedan. There are several different races of Andromedan. There isn't just one. Just as there is not just one race of Pleiades. There are several different races, and that particular race is very kind, and we have had dealings with them. They do serve on our council.
Thanks.
When it comes to things and UFOs that people are seeing in the night, how much is actually extraterrestrial? So, for instance, if I'm outside and I'm concentrating and I say, hey, guys, can you show me something, which is truly what I say, and all of a sudden I get the bright metal white color power-up strobing, who is doing that?
The white power-up strobing that you see, those are generally our vehicles. There are zetas, however, that will listen and show themselves as well. So it really depends on who you're calling out to. It would be like dialing a random phone number on your phone and expecting to see or hear something from someone that is absolutely profound that doesn't even know you. They just happen to pick up the line, but you dialed a random number. You need to know who you are calling. When you send a signal out, it is like a cosmic phone book that you should have. You need to know who you are trying to contact. The problem is that these people don't have a phone book. They don't know who they're contacting. When they are sending out a signal to attract any being, these people just want to see one of our races or any race for that matter because they're curious. And that's not a bad thing, but it really is dependent on how you call, who you're going to get. Granted, we try to listen We try to come here when people call to help or to show ourselves, to show these people that we are around. We have not left them. We cannot be here in our vehicles for very long because you must understand that there are forces here that would love to shoot us down if we are sitting in one place for too long. It's very risky for us to stay here for any length of time. Even me talking over these lines like this is very risky. But I'm here simply to help these people in a way that our vehicles that are in the sky cannot at this time. I want to teach these people everything that they have not been taught. The governments here, the world, has lied to them through omission. These people deserve to know who they are. They deserve to know what they can do. They deserve to know how to heal themselves. These people should not be dying within 100 years. These people should be living far longer than that. Someone looking old at 100 years is horrible. Someone 100 years old should look like they are still in their 30s. There is no reason for these people to be aging as quick as they do. There's no reason for these people to be dying as quickly as they do, except that these governments have been poisoning them. These countries, these forces, the cabal, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Knights Templar, the Jesuits.
Right.
All of these have been poisoning these people for a very long time.
Do you travel through wormholes? Is that how you cut down the space-time continuum?
We use a certain type of technology. I can't go too far into it over these lines quite yet, but what I will say is it's based on crystal-based technology and vibrational resonance. We use our vehicles to travel long distances by utilizing photoradionic energy, which allows us to reach near what you all call light speed within about 3 hours and 25 minutes. Once we reach that point, we focus on the location that we want to travel to. And our vehicles are attuned to our thoughts. We use crystals as a liaison for our thoughts between the computer in the system and our brains in order to create the intention of traveling. What happens is we end up resonating the vehicle itself using our thoughts and the frequency we choose to travel at the speed of thought from one point in space to another. The speed of thought is far faster than the speed of light. We travel approximately 3.16 billion miles per second. Once we cross that barrier, we reach our destination within nanoseconds. It takes us approximately another 3 hours and 25 minutes to slow our vehicles.
Are we able to hear your planetary language?
It's not a verbal language. It's not something that I could speak over these lines.
Okay. When you came here, you said you were shot down. Were you shot down by humans or were you shot down by another ET species?
By the militaries here.
Is your craft at Area 51?
It was shot down in Nevada.
Have you ever been to Area 51?
Unfortunately, I was held there for 2 years. I was locked in a cage like an animal.
How did you get out?
One scientist there, the same intake scientist that took our pictures, set us free. He cared very much for us, and particularly for me. At the time, I looked like a little child. and he had a high compassion and love for me. He felt for my situation. He treated me very kindly where no one else would. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional now.
Wow.
But that was, it was a very hard experience for me.
Are there any of your kind around you right now?
Yes, there are two here right now with us as we speak.
What do you look like if you were not in the form of human?
We look like humans, but our features are a little different. I have hands on my feet. The joints in my upper hands are different from some of these people. My opposability of my thumbs is far more extended. Our physiological differences are subtle, but they are enough to differentiate us from these people.
Did you know the Pleiadians that walked into the Experiencers Conference when Travis Walton was speaking in Maine last year?
I heard about that, and if they were speaking English, they weren't from my cycle.
Because our Keith Andrews, who comes on here, I don't know if you've heard him on this show, he got a picture with one. Now, it doesn't show it on the photo, but he said the pigmentation of the skin was swirling, and in behind the coloring to trying to disguise as human, it was really a bluish silver. Would that be correct?
That's one of our species, yes. Not of mine specifically, but that is from one of our planets.
How big is your planet?
Ours is approximately 2.7 times the size of this one. It takes an extra 4 years, approximately. If you want to be specific, 4.2379 years to orbit Atlas, to 1 Earth year.
Wow.
The orbits are a little longer around Atlas than the orbit of this Earth around your sun. It takes if you want to measure by Earth hours, it would take approximately 25 hours for our planet to make one full rotation. We have a period of time in our year where we have sun on both sides of our planet. You need to understand that the way that Atlas orbits and the positioning of our other stars within our Pleiades system will have at least 4 of the stars shining on one side of the planet while Atlas shines on the other. So we have half of the year where we are actually in full sunlight all around the planet and twilight at the South Pole, where we have another time of the year where we have a 5-sun formation, the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. When it rises from the horizon, you see 5 suns, one after the other, until you see our 5-star formation shining on Atlas, and it's very bright.
I want to ask a question here from one of our audience members, and I think it really pertains. And then we're going to either we're either going to go to break, or I'll talk to you guys during the break to see how much longer you want to go. Audrey, you were just crying over your experience at Area 51. Why is there such an absence of empathy then over ET abductions of people here from Earth, from extraterrestrials then?
Because they're not doing it.
I do empathize with the fact that these people are abducted the same way that I was tested and experimented on in Area 51. I feel for every one of them. because I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to feel like you have no control, no power. You can't do anything. You're held as a prisoner, strapped to a table, and they're taking samples from every part of your body.
So how do people defend themselves?
They need to raise their vibrations and make what is called here a Merkaba field, which will keep lower vibrating entities from even approaching you, let alone taking you. Because it shows a sign of strength. And they do not want to mess with another being that is vibrating very high, because they fear that you will harm them.
Well,
that is the way that you can defend yourself.
I'm thinking last week I got taken. Okay? And I confirmed this with our Keith Andrews on our Friday night show. And apparently these guys don't like it when they take me because I end up going all hockey player on them, according to Keith. You know, so I guess what I'm saying is, are we physically able to defend ourselves?
Yes, you are. A Zeta does feel. They may not feel many things, but they can feel fear. If you raise your vibration enough, they will back off. They will leave you alone. They will let you go because you physically hurt them by increasing your vibration. Not that I condone hurting anything, but if you need to defend yourself, think about something you love the most. Think about one of the best memories you've ever had in your life. Raise your vibrations, show love, and they will back off. They will leave you alone.
Gentlemen, we're gonna hop out for a break here, and we're gonna have a quick chat, and then we'll come back right after this with a little bit of overtime. You're listening to Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott. Talk to you on the other side of the break.
Would you like to become one of our space travelers? All you have to do is click on the Space Travelers icon at spacedoutradio.com. For only $5 a month, you can get access to some great prizes, as well as private monthly shows, newsletters, and a members-only section on our website. Become a space traveler today.
Hi there. This is your medium, Joanna, from Spaced Out Weekend, 2 Mediums and a Large. I would love it if you would come and join us with host James Tyson every other Sunday on Spaced Out Weekend. Together, we will take your calls and your questions live. Our goal is to provide you with a positive outlook on deep questions that you may have. Questions regarding love, relationships, money, or whatever else is on your mind. Come and check us out at spacedoutradio.com.
Every Saturday and Sunday night, as Dave Scott wanders aimlessly in the wilderness, you can come hang out with me, James Tyson, in Spaced Out Weekend. Starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, I'll take you along as we talk with some of the best experts in their fields. SpacedOutRadio.com is the place to find us. So sit down, relax, put your feet up. Enjoy the topics like the paranormal, supernatural, intuitiveness, and so much more. Hope to see you there.
Hi there, this is Elizabeth Anglin, and on the last Monday of every month, I join Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's Cosmic Passport. We delve into everything from extraterrestrial contact to animal communication. It's a lot of fun, and every month it's something different and exciting. I would love it if you would join us. You can hear and learn from my experiences, and I'd like to know about yours as well. Cosmic Passport on spacedoutradio.com.
Hey everybody, this is Patrick Webster Small, and I'm here to bring you the Webster Phenomena every Saturday night, live at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. If you're looking for aliens and extraterrestrials, well, we've got them. Big and tall, short and small. You're bound to find what you're looking for, so join me on the Webster Phenomena right here on Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. With their money-back guarantee and the many benefits, how can you afford not to get one? Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com for mind, body, and spirit, and expect a miracle.
Have you ever wondered about those weird and strange creatures people have reported throughout history? Do you wonder if those stories are real? Me too, and that's why I started Cryptopia.us. Hey, this is Rob Morphy, crypto historian. Join me once a month on Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott, where we will get into the odd and bizarre reports, from the Dover demon to hairy hominids and everything in between. I will break down what people like you and me are seeing at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost?
Look no further than Spaced Out Radio.
SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click on to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on radio
or our website, including social media.
From commercial spots to banners, we have it all.
Check out our competitive pricing today.
Want to connect with us online? Find us on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show, on Twitter, @Spaced Out Radio, on Instagram, Dave Scott, SOR, on YouTube, Spaced Out Radio Show, and our website is spacedoutradio.com. All right, space travelers, here comes the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Welcome back to Spaced Out Radio. It is overtime here on the mighty SOR. So if you're tuning in on this SHR Media Network, thank you so much. If you're in the Space Out Radio chat room on Spreaker, Paranormal Forum, UFOria Chronicles, or the SOR Space Travelers on Facebook, thank you so much for being with us. We are extending this by another 20 minutes before we call it the night. Tomorrow night on the show, Samantha Mowat will join us for the extraterrestrial experience. We're going to get into her experiences like that tomorrow. And we'll even talk about the one I had with her. That was kind of trippy. It was the same being I mentioned to Audrey moments ago. Arcturian. Andromedan. Andromeda. I am joined by James Borg once again from UFOria Chronicles. Audrey did have to run, but we have scheduled to bring him back along with James on June 29th. And we'll be hitting him up for more questions in regards to what we are doing here on this planet. I know there's a lot of questions both in the SOR chat room and the SOR Space Travelers on Facebook. It's very tough, James, for Audrey to talk about this. And I'm not saying this to defend him, because I think on a human level, okay, if we talk about a human level for a minute, the biggest thing that I think is, it almost sounded, I don't want to use the word vague, but anybody could find the information on Google. Now, I'm going to say what I said to you over the break. I believe Audrey is Pleiadian, and I will tell you why. I have channeled before. Whether or not you believe it, that's up to you. I can only give the audience my experience. Okay, I have channeled before. I have channeled with extraterrestrials out there, and the monotone, deep voice is all the same. The other thing that I noticed was, every time I have channeled extraterrestrials, it's the same story in regards to raising the vibration. You people, these people, you don't understand. You have to get in touch with your spiritual side. And you know what? It sounds very basic. And I think as humans at times, we try to complicate it a little bit more than what the message truly is. What do you think, James? Yes. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. I forgot to turn James's mic on. That's my fault. It's overtime. Accidents happen, and that's just what happened there. Yes, Bill Cardwell, I know we can't hear him. So, James, getting back to the message, we complicated a little bit too much, right?
No, not at all. He was trying to be as real as he could be. He's trying to get the truth out. This is the first time in world history that this has ever happened, Dave, okay? So you should go in the Guinness Book of World Records right now, all right? This is a first, all right? And it's very hard. I was shitting my pants too, right? I said, wow. I said, this is a first, buddy. I mean, this is it. You want disclosure? We're making it right now, buddy, right?
Well,
Steve Ambassador, you listening?
I understand.
There it is.
James, I understand that, but for a lot of people who are listening in, right now, when they hear Audrey's story, they are going to say, well, how do we know this isn't just a person on the other end of the phone who is someone who isn't there? And that's why I explained the channeling part of this, because when I have channeled before with extraterrestrials, they sound the way Audrey does.
Mm-hmm.
It's very monotone. It's very direct. It's usually a spiritual thing, and that's where it kind of hits home for me, because I believe he is what he is. For a lot of people, they may not, though.
I know. I've had the same experiences. I've talked with him for hours on end. Okay, lots of hours. So sometimes I gave him case point scenarios of my life where I was saddened by something in my life that hit me hard that was very sad. Okay, it was a sad event in my life. All right, and when he's hearing the story, okay, he's trying to empathize with me, but yet in the same token, he's not really showing too much emotion. All right, and for many months I said, well, what are these? They have no emotion. They're emotionless. Okay, I'm going to take it one step further. Emotion, human emotion, we have good emotions and we have bad emotions. What's a bad emotion? Okay, bad emotion would be sadness, anger, pain, hurt, okay? All these things lower the vibration, lower the angelic human crystal vibration, all right? And what happens when you lower the vibration is you're weak, all right? These beings don't want to lower the vibration. When they emphasize or have empathy on a sorrowful note, they hurt as well. All right? But they try to raise above it. They try to keep the same high vibration. All right? So they won't cry when we cry, but they will emphasize with us. They will feel pain. All right? And they'll quickly okay, stop thinking about that. You gotta move on. All right? It happened. You gotta turn the page. All right? They've had billions of years of this. All right, they know how they're ahead of us. They're a species ahead of us, so they've already did this game that we're in. You heard him say that he was from a different constellation. You heard him say it was the Draco race that took control of their two planets and forced them to evacuate the planets, the two planets they lived on, and they moved to where they're living now. All right, actually, Atlantis was colony settlers that came from where he is from to settle on Earth when there was a peace on Earth. Because we had peace on Earth for a little while. That was the colony of Atlantis. And then they reneged on it, the Dracos did, with the help of the reptilians and the Zetas and everybody else that were on that side of the fence. And they entrapped us. How they entrapped us was they sent UFOs to their planets to start a war. So the UFOs we had on Earth in Atlantis left Atlantis to go fight for their planets. When they did that, there was no UFOs on Atlantis. That's when they moved into Atlantis. That's when they destroyed Atlantis. That's the real history.
James, how did you meet Audrey?
Oh, it's a long story. I seen a video about 3 years ago on him, and I fell in love with the woman there. I thought she was very beautiful, right? And the kid, I thought he was just a kid, right? I thought maybe it was her son, and that's how I first got a whiff of him. And he tells me they were monitoring me for a long time, and then what I'm doing. Just as you spend hours on the radio show, since 2007, I too have done a lot of hours doing sky watches, handling events, and going looking for them. And like he said, it's when you go to have a sky watch or something, and you want to call on an alien or you want to have a sighting, right? He goes, be specific with intention who you want to call, right? It's like dialing the phone book. Well, make sure you dial the Palladian. Make sure you dial the Andromedan. Make sure you dial the Arcturian, right? Because if you're going to have a sighting or you want to make contact, you can make contact with all kinds of beings, right? But some of them don't have, of course, our best interests in mind, right? This is key and intention, right? And then I also went 50% of the way. This is my life, Dave. After I had those big sightings, other than being married and other than playing with my kids and having an experience with my kids, this is what I do. This is what I breathe. It's been like this for years, all right? There's nothing, I think about ETs and aliens once every 10 minutes, maybe more, okay? And so I'm in resonance with them already. All right, and every time I hear them talk, man, I'm just getting education 24/7. I'm like a student back in grade 1, getting all the information down pat. And yeah, it's mind blowing.
When you look at this whole scenario, it causes a lot of people to get that inner anger out because they aren't sure what they are listening to. That could be just, and like I said, as much as I believe Audrey and what she is, what he is, a lot of people out there are going to have their doubts. They're going to have their minds check out because it's an unbelievable experience as to what is happening. At what point, James, did you really believe that Audrey was the real deal?
Okay. When I first started talking to him, he started answering questions before I even asked him or before I even typed them out. So I joked around. I said, "You're reading my mind." He goes, "I know." And then there's been other times where he went in my mind and took out actual memories that I had. My memories. And I don't know this guy, all right? Mm-hmm. And he told me, "Well, when you were younger, this happened." I'm going, "Yeah, that did happen." Right? Were you watching me? He goes, "No." He goes, "Others were, but I wasn't particularly, but I just pulled it from your mind." Right? Okay, I'll give you an example. We were watching Contact, the movie Contact, and there's a segment in the scene when Jodie Foster's in the capsule, and they're doing the countdown, and the machine's starting up, right? And the G-force of that machine was really wild, all right? And he pulled it out of my mind. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, that could be done. It's blah, 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 and told me all about it. And he's never seen the movie, right? So he's a mind reader. He could read your mind. He knows what I'm doing. I could be playing hockey. Okay, Dave, you play hockey, right? I won't be telling him when he's playing hockey. All of a sudden I'm playing hockey. And he'll say, "Yeah, you were playing hockey today. You did this, and yeah, I think you scored 2 goals, right?" How could he know that, And it's case in point. We've also had, that's about it, I got to say, right?
You haven't met in person, though?
No, but others have that I've sent.
You mentioned Atlantis. That was once a Pleiadian city,
colony.
Metropolis,
Yes.
colony.
That's right.
Have you ever been told where it is now?
No, I haven't asked that question, but that's a good question for later to ask, right?
When you see, and I'm sure you will go into the SOR Space Travelers to read the comments, because that's kind of the guy you are. And you read some of the comments that are in there. Do you understand people's haste towards this topic because of the fact that, people are a little pissed off that there's little gray beings running around their bedrooms taking them without their permission?
Guys and gals, I'm just like you, all right? When he was talking about liver there, I was getting a little worried because once in a while I have my shot of whiskey here and there, okay? So, I have the human traits just as much as everybody else do, and I have the anger as well. I have huge anger, okay? Huge anger directed at the system, the way we are, all right? The cabal, right? And the Zetas and all the bad ETs running the show, all right? Look, the ETs are already here. They've been here, for about 2 billion years, all right? There's evidence everywhere. The pyramids, the Sumerian text, the fossilized bones that they're finding, they're 60 feet tall. Okay, those are known as the Nephilim. Those 60-foot giant skeletons, that's the Nephilim that was written in the Bible. All right. Then they have giants, which are actually called giants. They're about 15 to 16 feet tall. Some of them up to about 20 feet tall. Right? There's evidence everywhere. Now, I'm just as pissed off as everybody else would be. Yeah, because there's a lot of atrocity going on Earth. Right? There's people that have been abducted and raped. I know a few of them. I talk to them all the time on UFOria Chronicles. All right? Sometimes they message me on Messenger, and we're having conversations for 3 hours. Sometimes I can't cut the grass, Dave, because I'm talking to everybody, okay, who's messaging me, trying to calm them down, trying to give them direction, trying to help them along, all right? This is why I cry, all right? I you know what? Just as you suffer from depression, I suffer from depression too. You can't not suffer from depression knowing what's going on with the world, all right? And facing it every time, all right? And then you're thinking, how the fuck are we going to get out of here? How are we going to change this? We're just one person, right? And now, you know what? We've been sending our messages. Our message has been heard, all right? So it's time is coming now, all right? Plus, we got another planetary threat coming in, all right? It's called Hercubolus. It's a star. Hercubolus is a star, just as we have a star called the Sun. And around that star, Hercubolus, there's another planet, what they call Nibiru. And there's another planet called whatever it is, and it's got moons. And guess what? It's coming into our solar system. So that's another threat, all right? So that's why I was talking about our exam is about to be expired. We're all writing a test in school. We got 30 minutes to write this exam, and guess what? We're on minute 28 now, all right? So we got the 2-minute warning right now. Right now, the quarterback's calling the Hail Mary pass, all right? This is what it's about, all right? That's what he was mentioning. It's going to get chaotic soon. Why do you think they're building the DUMBs, the dumb underground bases, all right? This is what they've done in the past. He said when mankind reaches a certain point, the Anunnaki wipes us out. Last time it happened, it was Noah's flood. Right? So here we are, back to square one. We're trying to change this. And we're trying. Here we are.
Just a big bowl of friggin' positivity, let me tell you that. Big bowl
time, I know.
Put some
time.
whipped cream
on that. That's why
I
drink, buddy.
Put some whipped cream on that.
Drink,
some of your can of tuna that you were eating while you were seeing the helicopter. Just a whole big bowl of sweetness coming down the pipe for us. Jesus, you know,
Dave, I don't eat tuna no more because of Fukushima. Right? I stopped eating tuna 5 years ago. I don't even eat sushi. I used to like sushi, not anymore. Right?
I don't eat
too much radiation.
I don't eat fish. I'm good that way.
Yeah, I hear you.
So
Pacific Ocean's not that good right now.
I think, though, what would help the next time we bring Audrey on, and I know Audrey is listening, I think next time it would be one of those things where I think we need to break the audience in on a little bit more of what he is like and what he is about, because when you go in it heavy right off the bat, it can lead to a lot of people getting their backs up. And, I think his message is good. I think it's clean. I think it's what people need to hear, but we need to be able to learn about the subject before we start, getting lectures.
Can I recommend something?
Yeah.
What made me fall in love with all this was when he was describing where he comes from. When he was describing the 5 moons, or the five stars on one side and the one grand star of Atlas, right? When he describes his planet and tells you how life is on the planet, where he comes from,
yeah.
Oh man, that's fall in love time. It's like a dream come true. It's like, wow. I would like the people to start knowing about what it's like on another planet. So we have a guideline, we have a blueprint to make it happen here on Earth, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I would like the questions be directed at. And they would be valid questions, right?
Well, you know what, though? But as simple as it sounds, there are things I want to know. Is there music and poetry? Do they drive?
Yeah, okay, I can answer that.
Do they drive Chryslers?
No, they don't. But they have an aerial vehicle. The sighting I had with the neon-shaped green egg-shaped vehicle, that is their common vehicle. So like we drive a Pontiac Grand Le Mans, they drive that. It flies. And you know what? Their technology was simple, what they would call a car, or what we would call a car. Their car can go to other planets. How do you like that one, right?
Total
Where our cars can only stay on the highway, you know what I mean?
No, I understand that, but I want to know, like on a Sunday, do they go golfing? What is their religion like? Do they listen to Guns N' Roses there? Do they have hockey? Do they go fishing on their spare time? If so, what do the fish look like? They don't play sports. And their music is different. They don't have rock and roll. I want to change that. I'd love to introduce rock and roll to them. If there is no hockey, baseball, or Guns N' Roses or heavy metal, I'm out.
You're out. Okay, well, I'm sorry they don't have that.
Well, we got to bring that.
Maybe we can introduce that to them, right?
Well, what are they going to do the minute they see a couple of Canadians fighting on the ice?
They probably just look at us and shake their heads, right, and kind of say, "What are they doing?" Right? But hey, I'm a hockey player too. They have music. Their music is based on vibration. It sounds like a choir. It sounds like Silent Night, right? It sounds like that. That's their form of music, right? It's not far off. It's just vibrational frequencies, right? Something that's a little bit more comprehensive than us to understand. It's like if you punch solfeggio frequencies on the internet, you can get the different tones, right? That would be their form of music.
They need Axl Rose, my friend. That's all I'm going to say.
Or hey, maybe we could teach you playing. You come up and we'll start a rock band up there, Dave.
Excellent. Let's take a ship.
That's it.
We're going to wrap it up, James.
Okay, buddy. Listen. You made history here.
I appreciate your time.
This has never been done. No problem, buddy.
Time. James Borg from UFOria Chronicles, thank you for allowing us to be the official radio show of UFOria Chronicles. Really do appreciate it, and we'll talk very soon, my friend.
You got it, buddy. You take care. Have a good night, man.
Take care.
And say hello to everybody out there listening. Big hello to everybody from everyone.
Absolutely.
Take care, right?
Take care.
We love you.
I think Eric has it right in the SOR Space Travelers room. They need more Bumblefoot. We can all do with a little more Bumblefoot. That's the way we rock and roll around here. I want to thank James Borg from UFOria Chronicles, as well as Audrey from Pleiades. Very interesting indeed. This went off on a way different tangent that I really didn't know, but we nailed it. Tomorrow night on the show, Samantha Mowat will join us. We're talking the ET experience with her tomorrow night. You're going to learn a little bit more about me and my experience that I had with her as well. 12-foot alien. Andromedan, according to Audrey. Very cool. I'm very thankful about that. Peaceful. It's all good. Hey, Bill, I can't wait for your syrup to get to my house. Bill makes his own maple syrup out in Ontario, in Haliburton, Ontario. Sent me a package today. Very excited about it. Thank you, Bill. Hey, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do so at Spaced Out Radio. Give our Facebook page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. On Instagram, we can be followed at Dave Scott SOR. And, of course, our website, spacedoutradio.com. All of our archives, including this show, will be on YouTube, Spaced Out Radio Show. Subscribe to that. Our music master, the guitar god himself, Bumblefoot. We're going to rock it out. We'll talk to you in exactly 21 hours.
This is the new totalitarian state. 1,000 eyes are waiting for you to break. Stay in line, don't make a mistake. We're watching. We watched you fall.